And we welcome you to Golden West Field on the campus of Golden West College, as today SportsNetUSA.net presents Golden West Rustler football. It's the Battle of the Booths as your Rustlers take on the #1 team in the nation, the Fullerton Hornets. A great Saturday evening to you wherever you are. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of it. Rahshuan Haylock alongside a couple of esteemed colleagues, Mark Pavlovich and Corey Neyland. They are the voices of the Fullerton Hornets. We collide in this one. It's a battle of the booths. And before we get into kickoff, guys, this is the #1 team in the nation, this Fullerton College team. How have they been so dominant?
They've done it with a two-headed quarterback, to say the least. That's what they've done. And the two-headed quarterback has really made them that championship quarterback. So that's how they've gotten to where they are. And the defense has gotten better over the years. That's why.
The Rustlers will be receiving the opening kickoff. Putting it on the tee for Fullerton is Antonio Estrada.
It's kickoff time!
Markel Johnson, JT Thomas back deep to receive. Thomas has been a more pivotal part of the kickoff return in recent weeks. Thomas backpedaling, catches it on the E in Golden West in the end zone, about a couple yards deep, runs it to his own man, and he's going to be tripped up at the 11-yard line, and that's where the Rustlers will have their first possession of the game, 1st and 10. No Joe Pio today. Out 4 to 6 weeks with an upper rib injury he suffered last week in the loss at Grossmont. No surgery will be required, however, but unable to play in this game, effectively ending his season and thus his career with the Golden West Rustlers. Enter Johnny Buxa the fifth, J5 as he's known as to those out in the Long Beach area, the St. Anthony's alum, making his first career start here today. And on 1st and 10, he sends a man in motion, low snap. The handoff goes to Rhino Tavai, and a swarm of Hornets get to him as it brings up a 2nd down. No Nick Sia-Tanu'u on the left side of that offensive line. He's out for family reasons, so the left tackle will be Tavita Sagapolu. Brian McCann, the left guard. Jared Garcia, the center. Genesis Kalolo, the right guard. And LeSean Askew getting the start at right tackle. Buxa takes the snap. Here's Deese, a stiff form at the 20, and it's going to be a 1st down for the Rustlers. So a pitch and catch there from Buxa to Deese, and a Rustler 1st down, their first 1st down of this game, of this drive. We're just underway here from Huntington Beach.
Watch that defensive line, Rahshuan. They really have been the vocal point for this Fullerton College team when you look at it. Montre Bonner has been a beast defensively.
Sheldon White going in motion. Rhino Tavai getting the carry. And he's going to be stopped there by this Fullerton Hornet defense.
When you talk about that defense up front, it is going to be Shane Darshall that gets the start instead of Montre tonight. Oscar Bergueno, Joey Noble up front along with Jamichael Moore. Kareem McDonald checks in now. Linebackers going to be Devin Hessler and Roy Otto as Fullerton goes to a nickel package.
2nd down and 9 from the 26-yard line. Buxa going to keep it up the gut. Johnny Buxa, J5 putting his head down and across the 40-yard line, and a 1st down at the 41 of the Rustlers.
The tackle brought down by Jacob Jones, the starting safety, who came in game 5 at the start, along with Fullerton safety David Farmer. The cornerback getting his first start of the game is going to be Joshua Fisher, 25 on your screen near side. Starter was DeJuan Dorsey. He went out now. Taj Jones is in on that far side corner, along with Jay Brown, the nickelback.
Buxa with 3 wide, make that 4 wide receivers. That's White in the slot near side. Now they motion him back and forth. Stays on this near side. Buxa, shovel pass. Sheldon White with the catch, and he picks up 3 up to the 43-yard line.
Corey Cole McCartney just came in the game and made a tackle on that, but he came in late as a linebacker position.
So McCarty does a nice job. We started the season as the #1 outside linebacker, then got hurt. Roy Otto's played well. Cody Darrow's really solidified the middle linebacking spot for the Hornets.
Second and 8 for Buxa. Hornets come with pressure up the middle. Buxa on a slant looking for Deese. Incomplete. And that pass going to be deflected there defensively by Taj Jones.
He leads the Hornets in deflected passes with 8 now on the season. And he's one of those guys, 5 interceptions last year, 2 this year. And he's one of those guys that's always looking for a pick 6.
So a critical third down here on this first drive for the Rustlers. Buxa pumps, tries to run, nowhere to go. Sacked on the play. 3 Hornets were there to get to him, but they were led by Joey Noble. The big freshman out of Los Alamitos, Dave Robinson, the defensive line coach for the Hornets, said every time the Hornets get a sack today, mention my name. So that's the first one, Coach, I got you. Of course, the former defensive coordinator here for the Rustlers. How about that penetration there by Noble?
I'll tell you what, but here's the man that's getting the ball kicked away from him. And Corey, I was out of practice with Justin Manyweather. I'm going to let you talk about him for a second. He's frustrated now with teams refusing to kick to him.
Well, he can't be frustrated. He's just got to bide his time and wait for that opportunity to get the ball once he does, because there's going to be one that gets to him. He just has to make sure he takes it to the house if he's that frustrated. Or, you know what they say, he needs 1 yard to be the single season leader in punt return yardage for the Hornets.
Ladarius Skelton comes out at quarterback today for your Hornets for the simple reason Kane Wilson, well, he's on the sideline, just a little tired and banged up, so Skelton's out there starting at quarterback. Skelton goes back, gets great protection, goes over the middle of the field and throws it to Wilson, who gets clocked at the 45 after a pickup of 13.
That was Joey Maduena who makes the stop, and Wilson did a nice job of holding on, but Maduena led with his shoulder pad, not the helmet, came low, and made the tackle.
Huffman out wide to left. Simpson standing in the slot. Hewlett in the backfield. Gerald Hewlett gets it. Throws a little pitch, and Justin Manyweather, as they tried a little different option here, a halfback option playing, just stood there, Corey, looking for the ball to come to him instead of heading down the field.
Yeah, Hewlett threw 2 passes last year. One was an incomplete pass. The other was a 2-point conversion in the championship game against American River. Fullerton won 29-27, a big 2-point conversion last season.
Huffman goes to the far side of the field. Manyweather here next to us with Simpson. On the outside is going to be Robert Johnson, the leading receiver for this Hornet team. They go to Hewlett, come out of the backfield, gets a step, stays on the sideline, gets to the 40, puts the speed on, kiss him goodbye, touchdown, Gerald Hewlett.
Number 15 on the season, his second receiving touchdown. He's got speed, speed, and speed. You talked to him earlier, and you said, and we have the replay here, watch the stutter step, the hesitation, Rahshuan, looked like a hesitation dribble to take off.
Hey, got the hezzy on him that time, right? And one of the things that Nick Mitchell said cannot happen today is those little mistakes, the simple things like tackling. Rustlers unable to do that and corral Hewlett that time, and he's able to get up the sideline for 6. So quickly the Hornets with the lead.
So Estrada comes in for the point afterwards. Johnny Carmack spots it. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So the Hornets get on the board first with 10:45 to go. It's Fullerton College 7, Golden West College 0. You're listening to Golden West College and watching Golden West College football on Sportsnet, USA.net. Don't forget, all our games here on Sportsnet.USA.net are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Looking for that new or used Toyota? I tell you what, you just want to get that Toyota spruced up? No better place to go than Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Located on Euclid in the 91. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports, high school sports, but most of all, education.
10:45 to play here first quarter. Rahshuan Haylock alongside Mark Pavlovich and Corey Neyland. The battle of the booths here is Fullerton taking on Golden West. The Hornets, of course, the #1 team in the nation, 9-0 on the season. The Rustlers 4-5, 2-2 in Southern League play. Had things gone another way last week in the loss at Grossmont. This could have been a potential conference championship game. As it is, Rustlers playing out their season here as Markel Johnson takes the kickoff 10 yards deep. Johnson is going to be tripped up at the 20-yard line. And that's where the Rustlers will start at first down and 10. Field position early on so far has been in favor of the Hornets. And they're able to capitalize on their opening drive with a score by Gerald Hewlett, the talented tailback for the Hornets. That was a 3-play, 70-yard drive on a 56-yard touchdown by Hewlett. So here comes Johnny Buxa to lead this offense back out. Buxa entering today in limited time, 20 of 54 on the year, 251 yards and 3 touchdowns. A new tailback is Tavon Valdez. They go trips to the near side, and a flag comes in. Whoa, watch out. So delay game against the offense, says Tim Gloudman, our referee. Umpire today, Frank Rosa. The headline's been Chris Maher. The line judge, Sid Ziegler. The field judge, Daryl Gideon. The side judge, Cal Taquillo. And the back judge, Pete Saucedo here today. These two teams, two of the more heavily penalized teams in Southern California. Buxa on 1st and 15. Handed off Valdez, tries to get around the edge. Another flag comes in as Valdez scampers for maybe a yard.
That'll be a hold on that right tackle.
And guys, the thing I found interesting, that when Phil Austin had a first down and 10, he was going man-to-man coverage. Corey, then all of a sudden it became first down and 15, and Phil changed out the two corners, but it looked like that he was going to go into a zone defense, which I don't understand.
Did they call it legal procedure?
They caught a legal formation against the Rustlers. So 2 penalties on the drive so far for these Rustlers, and now all of a sudden it's a 1st and 20 from the 10. Buxa gonna roll now this time, and that one nearly picked off. On the deflection there was Cole McCarty for Fullerton.
You saw the jump by Taj Jones. He jumped the initial route underneath. He jumped it, so Buxa had to double pump, try to go to the up receiver, and McCarty just a little bit too short.
So Fullerton College defense that is 1st in the conference in opposition points per game, allowing just 17 points per game on the year. 1st in yards allowed, only 319 per game. So they're solid really in all 3 facets. Here's a catch made by Jones at the 20-yard line, but another flag.
There's a flag on the field.
Rahshuan, the thing is deceptive. You just brought up yards rushed against this defense. We talked to Brian Crooks, and Brian Crooks told us the reason they hold opponents down yardage-wise, most of these teams are down by 17 5 minutes into the game, so they're throwing the rest of the night.
Yeah, 54 yards per game this team is allowing. That's without a doubt 1st in the Southern Conference. Another penalty against the Rustlers.
I've got to ask you, because you talked about being penalized. Has that been one of the downfalls for the Rustlers this season?
It has, and it hasn't necessarily been the 5-yarders too. It's just those chunk penalties that they get. Normally, if they commit a penalty, they're going to commit a big one. The 15-yarders have been an issue, and it was kind of their downfall last week against Grossmont. Buxa found Smith on a slant, and Xavier tried to turn it upfield there before he was able to secure the ball. And you don't see that happen a lot. Xavier Smith, leading receiver on this team, normally sure-handed, But he saw some green that time and got a little happy.
And he was one-on-one against Roy Otto, Corey. If he catches that and it's a foot race with Roy Otto, yeah, he's gone. Roy Otto cannot keep up with him.
Rustlers on their own 6-yard line, 3rd and forever. Buxa. And he's going to tuck in and run. Johnny Buxa has Sheldon White with the block in front of him. Outside at the 30. And that's going to be enough for a first down. As actually give him a forward progress to the 35-yard line. So Johnny Buxa with a huge 29-yard scamper there and a first down. A big play there for the Rustlers.
And Fullerton couldn't tell if they were in a man-to-man or a zone that time. Josh Fisher came out and went with the receiver on the inside. Cole McCarty and the nickel supposed to come over to the outside and have contained. No go.
Buxa already with 41 yards on the ground in this one. Certainly a dual threat. Here comes White in motion. They give it to him on an end around, and White tripped up by the 30-yard line. 9.5 to play here first quarter.
Corey, you just brought that up. David Farmer, who comes in the game as a safety, moves down low and then turns around. The rest of the backs looked at him and said, you're in the wrong position. You've got to move back up. So far, the safeties don't look like they're sure where they need to be on the field in this game.
Loss of 4 on the play. 2nd and 14 for the Rustlers. At their own 31-yard line. Approaching 9 to play here in this first quarter. Rustlers trailing 7-0. Buxa. And caught Derek Deese across midfield. Deese inside of Fullerton territory. At the 36-yard line, but a flag on the play.
27 yards on the play. You used to watch Derek Deese in high school playing at Kennedy, and he was one of those big guys that every time he threw in the ball, he was just so much taller than everybody. He's really filled out and turned into a nice receiver.
Illegal formation, offense number 77.
That's tough. I wish we can get the explanation of that illegal formation with somebody not on the line of scrimmage that should have been, or somebody too many men on the line of scrimmage, or double shift. Whatever happened, we'd like to hear that explanation.
Certainly would. The penalty is against Tavita Sakapoulou. And you got to think he would have been on the line of scrimmage. Maybe someone either did or didn't cover him up.
Well, if he's the left tackle, so it had to have been something that his left foot in that three-point stance was too far back, or he was not on the heels of the center and maybe a step or two behind him.
Yeah, you can see the offensive line right now on camera. They're all along the 25-yard line. If you're 2 yards behind that, they're going to call that on you.
Yeah, got to be on the heels of the center.
So this one comes back. Buxa going to keep it. Johnny Buxa makes a move. Another move. Oh, he's dropping laundry on the turf. And a late flag comes in. And this may be against the Rustlers. Braylon Mouton, he came in there and he tattooed one of the Hornets after that play.
That was DeJuan Dorsey that got tattooed.
And guys, I don't like the flag by the official. I mean, the play was still going on downfield. He was engaged, Corey. It wasn't like it was late. So if I'm an official, I pick up the flag.
No, it wasn't late. They weren't engaged either. But I pick up the flag though.
Yeah, I don't think you throw that flag there. Rahshuan, again, I'm going to ask you again. You've been here all year. I've heard those penalties have been something that the Rustlers have really had to deal with all year long.
Yeah, it's been the 15-yarders. It has all season long, and it's those kind of self-inflicted wounds, if you will. This team being its own worst enemy. So that was a first down, but it's a spot of foul penalty, so they move it back. So it'll be first down and 10 for the Rustlers at their own 34-yard line. Johnny Buxa impressive in the running game so far this afternoon. Rhino Tavai, and he's got to hold on to the ball there. He's had some ball security issues. Did a nice job there to move the pile. So he ends up picking up 3 there on that carry.
At the 37-yard line. Second down.
Good stop, Shane Darso, Joey Noble in there. Fullerton has a chance to put 3 defensive linemen. It's not going to happen on the all-conference team, but you got Noble, Moore, and Bonner, all qualified candidates.
And Jermichael, well, he's just going to be on the air with sports@usa.net multiple times this year.
White comes in motion to the bottom of your screen. They fake the shovel, now pitch to Tavai. Rhino Tavai running downhill. And he's upended at the 49-yard line, making midfield. 18 yards on the pickup and a first down for the Rustlers.
Kareem McDonald was caught in no man's land. He comes up, Rahshuan, thinking that the quarterback's going to keep the ball. He decides, I'm not sure what to do. By the time he makes a decision, the play is made and you guys are down the field.
John Shipp showing a little creativity here and some confidence in his freshman quarterback. It appears the whole playbook is open for J5. 4 wide. Valdez gets the carry around the edge. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
It was a nice job by Tavita Sagapolu, who sealed Kareem McDonald. Kareem McDonald took an inside route. Sagapolu sealed him on the inside, allowed him to pick up that short yardage gain. But again, the right end has got to be better, and here comes Bonner in for McDonald. That defensive front for Fullerton is tired. Moore went out, and in comes Sam Davis.
2nd and 8 from the Hornet 48-yard line. Just under 6 to play here first quarter. Buxer. And a little miscommunication there between he and Mouton. The pressure was coming. You got to imagine Mouton was the hot route there that time and got their wires crossed a little bit.
Well, if tied possession wins the game, right now Golden West College is beating the heck out of Fullerton College. They have had the ball 3 times as much minute-wise than the Hornets.
Dwayne Roper checks in at a tailback for the Rustlers. Ratzliff is split wide to the bottom of your screen. 3 wide receivers at the bottom. 3rd and 8 from the 48 of Fullerton. Buxer. Ratzliff. And it's a first down across the 40. He needed 8. He got about 8.5 that time. Buxer looking impressive here.
Yeah, he's not afraid to run the ball, but he's not afraid to throw the ball into coverage and throw the ball where it needs to be. Ibrahim Kanoti is already 5 yards off the receiver. Takes another 5 yards when the ball is snapped. Buxa is not afraid to throw that ball and let it rip, and that completion there, that's all day.
Ball at the 39-yard line of the Hornets. 5:20 left in this first quarter. Hornets up 7-0. Rustlers trying to get something done on this drive. They give it to Roper, and he's 8 up in the backfield.
Yeah, Montre Bonner was on the outside, allowed Oscar Berdueno to come on the inside and eat him up. Speaking of eat him up donuts, Ray, Fullerton College guy. Have you met Ray before?
Yes.
At the entrance, yeah, we always like Ray. It looks like me, Ray, and Ryan Osborne are going for the donut box at Fullerton College football games. Love you, Ray.
Under 5 to play. I'm sure if I'm there, I'll probably beat all of you guys, though, however. Don't let this slight frame fool you. Buxa, a pump, has Ratzliff wide open. He makes the catch inside the 15, and he's out of bounds. But there is a flag. More laundry. At what point are we going to run out of laundry detergent here this afternoon?
Corey, this is again where Phil Austin says his defensive backs get caught looking in at a quarterback. And by the do, we get a chop block as a penalty. So Golden West College is moving forward by 1 foot, going back by 4 feet. Guys, I'll tell you what, total yardage, total time of possession, it's all Golden West College. On the scoreboard, it's Fullerton 7, Golden West College 0. My partner to my left of me, Rahshuan Haylock, I tell you, he looks like he's got hives. He keeps scratching himself every once these yellow hankies come out. Rahshuan, you've seen too much of this.
I think we need to change the detergent. So this moves the Rustlers back into their own territory. 4:19 left. and ticking here in this first quarter. A penalty-plagued first quarter. 2 backs for Johnny Buxa. 3 wide. Quickly out to X. X has a block. X with a shimmy. X is going to have this one called back as well for another flag. They're going to get Mouton on the outside with a hold.
Boy, that's tough. And everybody saw the hold that time. We thought they were going to let that one go, but Brian Crooks and Tim Burns was in his ear, and the head linesman said, you know, I guess I'll throw it.
I tell you what, this Fullerton College Hornet team is the #1 team in the country, and they are deservedly so. They don't need this much help. They don't. I promise you they don't. And I haven't seen them play at all this season.
No, it's one of those things that it could be in either way. A couple of these penalties have been, you could call it or you could let it go. As long as no one is injured, you let those iffy calls go.
I think they have clock problems down the field. But, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, Golden West College has outplayed Fullerton College up and down the field so far. And, Corey, where Rahshuan says they don't need the help, tell you what, the defense has been lucky they're getting the help because Golden West College would have been on the board by now.
Yeah, it's 2nd down and 36.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a first down at the 13-yard line, call back on that chop block, and now goes to 2nd down and 36.
36. You said that correctly. Or you heard that correctly, whether at home. Books to the Ratsliff near side. Near midfield. A pickup of 15 there.
And if you're the Rustlers, you see the advantage you have at the cornerback position. I mean, on this near side, here's DeJuan Dorsey. On the far side is Davian Bullock. Number 5 in white is Cameron Powell. Jacob Jones is still this other safety, 4-2. But you can see how far off the ball the corners are. Take that and matriculate down the field.
White goes in motion to the top of the screen. 3.5 left in this first quarter. Buxa picked off. Coming up the near sideline is Fullerton with it. That's going to be Dorsey, and that's going to be a Fullerton touchdown.
Like I said, Fullerton has the advantage at the cornerback positions as they pick that one off and go for their pick 6. And that's the first time they've had a pick 6 in a while. No flags on the play. But you thought you had that advantage on the quick outs, and that's what Buxa was looking at.
Yeah, I think you thought you had your advantage on the quick outs, the quick game, a point of emphasis coming in here today. And to be frank, there's no shortage of wide receivers on this Golden West roster. Perhaps the deepest core of wide receivers that Nick Mitchell has had in his tenure here. There's a lot of talent inside that wide receiver room. But one of the shortcomings.
Ladarius Skelton now comes in. Flips it back to Huffman in a reverse. Tries to keep his feet. He's got to find at the corner. Huffman, Jordy Tresley, get in.
I don't think he got in. I think that was great hustle that time. Duena was there.
And I'm wondering if there's another flag on the play. I saw the guy. I didn't think he got in either. And Corey, the first thing I saw was the official walking over with his hands on his hips. And they called offsides against the Rustlers. I'll tell you, Rashawn Haylock has got a donation going right now for charity. $10 for each flag that's thrown during the game. He's up to $4,568 in this game.
Rustlers average 13 penalties per game.
Well, Darius Skelton comes in again. Hewlett throws a little chop block. Tries to go to Marcus Grossman and overshoots Grossman, who is wide open on the play, not to come up with the extra point. So with 3:13 to go, well, yeah, it's been all Rustlers, guys, but it's the Hornets 13, the Rustlers 0 here on Sportsnet USA.net. Rahshuan, I mean, let's be honest. The Rustlers have outplayed Fullerton College up and down the field statistically in this game. There's no doubt about it. They lead yards on the ground. They have moved the ball in the air. They're winning the battle of hankies on the field. But on the scoreboard right now, against the reigning national champions, they're down by 13. This has got to be frustrating as heck for Nick Mitchell as the head coach of this Rustler team.
8 penalties so far in this first quarter for the Rustlers. 3:13 left in the first, and Coach Mitch has got to be livid at this point. And if he's not, I am for him. speaking with him earlier this week, penalties, missed tackles, all a point of emphasis. There's a couple of 15-yarders they gave up last week against Grossmont on the game-winning drive for the Griffins. Came back to hurt them. Markel Johnson at the 3. Wrestled down at the 15.
That's Kenneth Griffin on the tackle. You know, Griffin leads the Fullerton Hornets in interceptions on the season with 3. And he's mainly played fourth quarter of ball games.
It's pretty good. 13-0 our score here. The number 1 team in the nation visiting Huntington Beach, visiting Golden West Field for the first time. John Buxa will lead the Rustler offense back onto the field after throwing that pick 6. I tell you, pick 6s have been an Achilles heel for these Rustlers so far this season. Pyle threw one last week. He's got a couple on the year. Johnny Buxa, he's got a couple on the year as well.
Buxa with the carry. Gain of 2 yards.
Certainly have seen more interceptions returned for touchdown against the Rustlers this season.
Is that how Grossmont got back in that game?
That was how they took the lead late in the fourth quarter last week. Rustlers ended up regaining the lead, and then Grossmont came right back down with the drive. Buxa picked up 3 on first down. The second down play is a pitch to Deese, and he's down at the 26-yard line.
Deese has the body and the hand, Corey. You talked about him. He's got the structure to actually shield out the smaller defensive backs for this Hornets football team.
3rd down and 1 coming up for the Rustlers.
I mean, at 6'4", I think you look for him a little more often.
They send White in motion again. Tavai gets the carry up the gut, and he is going to get stopped for a loss here. They take him down at the 25-yard line, and that'll be that for that drive.
And that's Oscar Bergueno, has had a quietly fantastic season on the interior. This Fullerton defensive front, it reminds you of the days of Gabe Long and Junior Gautas and those long pass teams on that defensive line.
Justin Manyweather in, looking to get the ball. It's kicked away from Justin Manyweather, looking for the hop as a shortstop. It's going to kick away from all the way down to the 41-yard line. So once again, he's looking to try and return it. It's not happening. We got 1 minute and 17 seconds here in the first quarter at Golden West Football on sportsnetusa.net. The Hornets 13, the Rustlers 0. Rahshuan Haylock, Corey Neyland, myself, Mark Pavlovich. So the Hornets come back out. Last time, 3 plays, and they get in the board.
Rashad Harris at the center. Jankovic, Pulliam, Crandall, and Stanton up front.
Fonte Eckford now in at running back. Russell, Skelton keeps it himself, fakes it to Eckford, goes straight up the middle, off the right center, Corey. That offensive line, again, doesn't get enough love for this rushing offense.
Yeah, on that right side, Jankovic is going to be the right tackle, and Crandall is the right guard.
Malik Abdul-Haq out wide to the right. Devontae Richardson comes out here to the left. Devontae stays back. Ladarius Skelton goes back. He has time to throw. Throwing over there in the middle of the field and throws behind the receiver. Richardson's looking to say, where was the ball going? It wasn't even close to be a completion.
Desmond Posse was there on the coverage that time, and you saw him put both arms in the air as if to say, I didn't do anything. I didn't touch him. Please don't throw a flag on me, Mr. Official.
And I thought he was throwing to Noah Hoffman underneath.
Marcus Grossman in the game with Huffman out here. Big hands. Back playing football with us. Sat out for a couple weeks. Darius Skelton goes back. We get a flag immediately on the play. We'll see that again as that ball goes through the hands of Robert Johnson.
I thought it was an illegal procedure on the Hornets. Marcus Grossman was moving. They got a false start. So take the penalty, Rahshuan, or decline it?
I think they declined it, yeah. I would have taken, my first thought was to take the penalty, but it was no gain. It's a 2nd and long. I think Coach Mitchell did the right job there.
So Gerald Hewlett comes back in. Huffman stays out here wide left. Marcus Grossman with him on the left-hand side. Far side of the field, Robert Johnson along with Robert Downs III. Hewlett in the backfield, goes from right to left. Skelton goes back, throws it out to the flat to Gerald Hewlett. He gets 2 wonderful blocks by receivers who love to throw them and gets down the field for a first down. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 24.
Impressive tackle there by J.T. Thomas. He's one of those guys that at corner doesn't mind getting dirty, doesn't mind getting his hands dirty, doesn't mind getting physical a little bit. But I tell you, tried to wrap Hewlett up there.
Once again, this time they throw to Huffman. Hewlett misses his block, turns the defensive back. No flag on the play. They're going to move it down to the 20.
And there should have been a hold on Gerald Hewlett on the outside to free up Huffman.
I was going to say the same thing, too. It looked like he was holding J.T. Thomas. And Thomas, it appears, is the rustler who's down on the turf right now.
Well, what happened, he was holding him, and he pulled him down. So he pulled him down, and I don't know if he pulled his arm out of the socket or not, but that's just a horrible, horrible injury because it's one of those things that it happens on a lot of plays during a football game.
16 seconds to go here in the first quarter. It's the Hornets 13, the Rustlers 0. You are listening to Hornet Football on SportsNetUSA.net. It's actually Golden West College broadcast here on SportsNetUSA.net with Rahshuan Haylock, Corey Neyland, bringing the games. The Hornets, undefeated, the reigning national champions. They can wrap up their conference play 10-0. Then next week it's playoff time, and they're looking to go back-to-back on that.
Okay, so it's not the arm, it's his leg, but he's running off on his own power. And Rahshuan, you were talking to the young man earlier. He said he's been having a pretty good season.
Yeah, he has been having a really good season. Last couple of seasons, he's been one of the bright spots for these Rustlers defensively. You talk about a lockdown corner. He's a Division I cornerback. He's got offers from Wazoo and Utah State, to name a couple, but he's typically your best receiver. Nick Mitchell is normally going to put number 2, J.T. Thomas, on him.
Fleming goes out wide to the right with Devontae Richardson. Hoffman now in at tight end. Hewlett in the backfield. Ladarius Skelton, shotgun formation, goes back, looks to his left, goes to Gerald Hewlett, sidesteps one like a little Volkswagen, weaves in and out of traffic and gets down to 405.
Yeah, another pickup of 10, and you see him, nice job. You want to get him the ball 20 times a game. He wants the ball 20 times a game. You see good things are happening, Rahshuan.
Yeah, he's slippery. You got to get your hands on him at some point if you're these Rustlers.
That's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter, and as we come to the end of the first quarter, it's the Hornets 13, the Rustlers 0. You're watching Golden West College football on SportsNetUSA.net.
And Mark, Corey, I don't know if you guys knew this, but you can eat like a champion with Raisin Canes. Bring home a tailgate full of fresh, never ever frozen, cooked to order chicken fingers today. Cooked fresh when you order and served hot, fresh, and just as fast. You can also cool off with the Raisin Canes sweet tea or lemonade over that signature crushed ice. Love the crushed ice. Gotta love the crushed ice. Raisin Canes chicken fingers, 3150 South Harbor, just south of Gisler Street in the beautiful city of Costa Mesa. Raisin Canes. Score some chicken on this drive.
And you know what you do to get down there? You stop over at Miller Toyota of Anaheim.
You need transportation.
You pick out that new Toyota from Miller Toyota of Anaheim. You get that fresh smelling car smell. If you're Corey Neyland, you drive down to Raisin Cane in that new Toyota you got from Miller Toyota of Anaheim with the windows rolled up, because he wants to keep that smell of Raisin Cane in his car all the time here on SportsNetUSA.net. Miller Toyota, located at Euclid in the 91, supports community college football, high school football, but most of all, education. That's Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Ladarius Skelton starts the second quarter, brings him out. Hewlett in the backfield. Marcus Grossman goes from left to right. Skelton looking, throws behind the receiver, and Corey, the timing is just not there on his passing the last couple games.
And Markel Johnson there on the coverage, and Johnson was surprised where that ball was thrown. It was thrown even a little bit behind him as he was trailing the receiver there. I'll tell you what, if 9 catches that, it would have been curtains.
Skelton comes back, says, I'll keep it myself. I'm going to go up the middle. Touchdown, Fullerton College. Corey Neyland, I tell you what, that was a Ferrari behind a dump truck to get into the end zone.
Yeah, Rashad Harris, converted fullback. Night Train led the way.
Tell you what, you got to be impressed about a guy who knows his own strengths, right? Skelton, it didn't work on the pass the first time. You know what? I'll call my own number. My legs work.
So the Hornets score quickly to start the second quarter with 14:47 to go. Ball is spotted, kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 14:47 to go, here in the second quarter, it's the Hornets 20, the Rustlers 0. You're watching Golden West College football here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Well, Rahshuan, we expected this sort of start. We've seen it all year long from the Hornets. But I'm going to go back and say again, Golden West College doesn't get those penalties. I'm not sure it's 20-0 right now in this game.
Hey, you're talking about a different game. Rustlers are at least on the scoreboard, right? You got to imagine that one drive that they had in which they put up a bunch of yards, but they kept going backwards. A ton of penalties called on that drive. At least 5 by our count up here in the press box. And Rustlers finished with 8 penalties in that first quarter. 8. They averaged 13 on the year. You
figure they got down to the 13-yard line on the drive, and they ended up at their 13-yard line of Fullerton and ended up on their own 25-yard line by the end of the series.
That's unprecedented. It's unprecedented. Estrada will put it on the tee at the 35. And this kick is going to be a short one. And running up to catch it is Johnson at the 12. Markel Johnson with a head of steam across the 30-yard line. You saw that kick there. There's some serious wind going on here at Huntington Beach today as Estrada has got a good leg, but that one clearly got caught up in the wind and died as he was kicking into the wind that time.
Yeah, it looked like a Corey Neyland 3-iron.
I wish. 4 new defensive linemen for the Hornets. Kevin Robinson from left to right, Cameron Proctor, Corey Rose, and Kerry Walker.
Buxa out of the pistol. They send X in motion. They fake the handoff, and here's Buxa. J5 gets it across the 35-yard line and up to the 36. Pick up of about 3 there for Golden West.
Cameron Proctor misses a tackle, Corey. He has the quarterback dead to right in the backfield. Instead of tackling him, he grabs at him and holds on to him. And, you know, that's one of the things. You're just not going to be able to pull these young men down just by grabbing a jersey.
Now watch the matchup on the near side with Jay Brown, the corner, against Deese. For Jay Brown's only 5'9", Deese at 6'4". Brown is getting a nice job in the nickel back as a nickel. Let's see what he does at the corner.
Brown backs off and is playing about 8 yards off now of Deese. Smith in motion. Play action. Buxa throws it behind Kahuna Nui, but a nice catch and a couple of missed tackles there. And Kahuna Nui is inside of Fullerton territory.
And just a nice wheel route. And again, Fullerton's defense, the linebackers are slow to react on the guy out of the backfield. And it was a nice throw, nice couple yards after catch. And these are the routes and the plays that the Rustlers have had success with early on.
17-yard pickup to the H-back, Melvin Kahuna Nui. Ball at the Fullerton 46-yard line. 1st and 10. Mouton on a quick feed. Mouton breaks the tackle. Braylon Mouton down the sideline. A stiff arm, and he's out of bounds inside the 20.
Rahshuan, that's been an Achilles heel of this Fullerton College unit. missed tackles, not being in correct position on those quick plays. And these plays usually set up a pump fake that they've been beat earlier on the season. College of the Canyons did that against them in game 3.
They actually marked them out at the 25, so a 19-yard pickup there, and another first down for the Rustlers. Buxa, this side to Deese, and incomplete. And that's been an issue for Deese at times. He's had a case of the dropsies. That time, I think he was trying to make sure he got that stiff arm out there and never really hauled in the catch.
It's interesting. You look at Buxa and what he's doing, Corey. He's watching the Hornets walk up. He's watching the linebackers crowd the line of scrimmage. He takes a quick count and a quick release. He's not allowing them to get to him before he throws the ball.
2nd and 10 from the Hornet 25. Buxa looking up top. Deese wide open. And Buxa overshot him. And some pushing and shoving after the play. Brian McCann getting mixed up with a couple of Hornets. Look like Proctor and Noble for Fullerton, talking to the Rustler left guard.
And guys, that was the play. That was the setup play. You go deep when you've been going short the first 3 plays, and you had Taj Jones looking in the backfield, not knowing where Deese is. A better throw. That's 6.
I don't think Deese spotted the ball. 3rd and 10. Heavy pressure coming. Mouton on the catch. Mouton a stutter step inside the 10-yard line. And down at the 9. Pickup of 16, a 1st and goal, Golden West.
So go again. Go back to Buxa. Watch him at the line of scrimmage. He walks people walk up. He hesitates on his cadence to stop them from trying to time his cadence. Then he's waiting for a receiver to break quickly in his route. When he does, he releases the ball. It's 1-2, get rid of it, and those down linemen are not quick enough to get to him.
1st and goal from the 9 for Buxa and the Rustlers. Looking fade, looking Deese, and that play incomplete.
They got Taj Jones over there on him. Taj Jones a little bit taller than Jay Brown. Jones, well, a little bit, by an inch, maybe 2, at 5'10", 5'11". Exactly right. Throw that ball up to him.
And we've seen that with Pyle and Buxa. Those fades to Deese, he's got a height advantage. Allow him to use it. You got to throw it up there as opposed to throwing it lower so his little cornerbacks get a hand and make a play on it. 2nd and goal from the 9. Tavai in there at a tailback. Deese the lone receiver at the bottom of the screen. Rhino slips, and they actually mark him down. His knee hit the turf at the 10, so he loses a yard. Actually, the 12. Wow.
Guys, I got to ask you, you've got a height advantage. You both bring it up. You've got a wide receiver that's got quickness. Why don't you slant him in and hit him after 2 steps and let him go one-on-one against these small guys?
That slant's going to get picked, Mark. It's dangerous for that fade route because Taj Jones is very deceptive out there. He has hops. But Derek Deese, you got to trust your receiver.
3rd and goal from the 12. 12-10 left in this 2nd quarter. Low snap. And incomplete. Off the hands of Ratzler.
And they did what you said. And I think they were lucky that wasn't a good throw.
You think it would have gotten picked if it was better? You sort of looked at me that way.
It wasn't going to be completed to a Rustler.
So Manny Cuevas in to attempt the field goal. It's going to be a 29-yarder from the far hash. No good.
Field goal is no good.
So the Hornets overload on the right side defensively, looking like they're coming from a block on the right side, which as a kicker would make you want to push it. That's exactly what happens. It goes wide to the right. And with 11:59 to go here in the 2nd quarter, it's the Hornets 20, the Rustlers 0. You're watching Golden West College football on SportsNetUSA.net. So the Hornets come back out. We've already talked about Wilson. So Johnny Photo now comes in the game. Photo says, here, Gerald, you take it. Gerald Hewlett gets it, gets pulled down from behind. It's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Don Anderson, fortunate he didn't get called for a horse collar there.
Devontae Richardson out wide to the right. Huffman out wide to the left. Fleming in the slot on the right-hand side. Photo in a shotgun formation. Fakes it to Gerald Hewlett. Goes to Fleming all by himself, and Fleming was left alone. Nobody picked him up coming down the sideline.
28 yards. Nice throw by Johnny Photo.
And Sonatas there on the coverage, and a breakdown in the coverage there for the Rustlers in that secondary.
Huffman out wide to left. Fleming in the slot on the right. Photo goes back. Keeps it himself. Sidesteps one. Johnny Photo gets swallowed at the 45-yard line. Loss of 2.
And first time this afternoon we've really seen this Rustler defensive line make its impact in this game.
Looks like that was Thiel up front. Not a small gentleman out there making the stop. And Johnny Photo's not the same runner as Ladarius Skelton, so you might put the ball up a little bit more.
Robert Johnson out wide to left with Simpson in the slot. Inside Simpson. Justin Manyweather out wide to the right. Huffman. Photo shotgun. 2nd down and 13. Rolls away from the pressure. Picks up. Throws it there. DeReese Simpson just snags it in like taking that donut that Corey would want to have right about now. Love this kid's got great hands. They're soft when he catches the football.
And Robert Johnson's coming up, limping off the field now.
And Robert Johnson's not going to make it off the field. So we have an injury timeout with 10:20 to go. Here in the second quarter, it's the Hornets 20. Golden West College 0. You're watching Golden West College football on Sportsnet USA.net. The reigning national champions, 9-0, looking to complete their season to make it 10-0 as we get ready. Here on Sportsnet USA.net. Just got done with a little Fullerton College basketball last night. Corey Neyland out there with Ryan Osborne. Photo brings them back out the line of scrimmage. Fonte Eckford in at running back. Photo goes back. There's Eckford left all alone. And I tell you what, if he was gifting at a party, he wouldn't have come home with anything. That was such an easy catch for Sean. He should have pulled it in.
No, that was a bad throw.
I'm with Corey on this one. I think that throw probably had to be a little better by Photo. Because if it is, it's 6. He walks in.
So next time Johnny
goes. So Johnny needs to bring better gifts.
Johnny says with a 2nd down and 10, I'm going to take your advice and see what he can gift this time around. 2nd down and 10 at the 40 for the Hornets. Here comes the pressure. Photo hangs in there, throws it to Hewlett. He backsteps, decides to go forward, gets hit at the line of scrimmage, knocked out of bounds at the 33, gain of 7.
I tell you what, man, he's impressive. He being Hewlett, he's got this ability to start and stop, but not really lose his speed in the process. Very shifty. Very dangerous when the ball's in his hands.
Yeah, he's got beautiful sight of the field when he's down there. 3rd down and 3. Gerald Hewlett says to Rahshuan, yeah, look at this. One grabs me, and Rahshuan that time, the sight wasn't that good. He had an opening to cut upfield. He doesn't. He takes it down the line, and you guys get him.
Yeah, and you gotta credit the defense there for the Rustlers of being able to swarm and get to him that time. Ramsey Al Sherman coming up from the secondary, making the stop.
Malik Abdul-Haq out wide to left. Fleming in the slot on the left-hand side. Richardson out wide to the right. Everybody comes across the line of scrimmage. Fleming says, well, I'm going to take it if you're going to give it to me. Doesn't get far. Should be offside against the Rustlers.
Yeah, free play there for the Hornets. And Devin Fleming coming from that prestigious St. John Bosco program. And he did some great things during his high school career playing for Jason Negro and Chad Johnson, the offensive coordinator there.
So it is 5 yards against the Rustlers. That's enough to move the chains with 9:21.
They get Rez McKinney on the penalty there. But really, they could have called it on 3 or 4 other guys.
I tell you, just say defense. First down and 10 at the 30. Photo looks over, goes back, looks to his right, holds on to it a little too long. Can't get away, but he does. Nice footwork by there. Almost caught, almost interception. Rahshuan, it should have been a loss of 10 yards on the play.
What a sequence there, huh? Photo showing the ability to escape. Rez McKinney, you got to wrap him up. That has to be a sack for the Rustlers. Instead, it was almost a big play there for Fullerton. Instead, it fell incomplete. Almost a big play, then almost an interception. A lot of changes in momentum on that one play alone.
Photo now, second down and 10. Throws it over here to the flat, knocked away. Beautiful defensive play by the Rustlers as they tried to throw a little delayed screen on the right-hand side.
That's Dedson Sonatas, the cornerback there. He's the younger brother of Mackenzie Alexander from the Vikings, your bitter rival. A lot of Vikings ties on this Rustler team, Mark.
I'm having a bad enough year with a backup quarterback. Thank you. Photo goes back. We get a flag on there. Illegal procedure against the Hornets. That's going to move them back another 5 yards. It's going to bring up a third down and 15.
So to give you those ties, Sonatas' brother plays for the Vikings, whose head coach is Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer was a mentor of Savea Harrington, the defensive line coach here for the Rustlers as well. He played and coached under Coach Zimmer. Still keeps in touch with him. And, of course, you're still reeling from that hit from Anthony Barr.
Yeah, well, you know, you can't trust anybody from UCLA.
I was at a game. He made the same exact hit on Matt Barkley, ended his career as a Trojan.
Third down at 15. Photo goes back. Tries to put and does throw it right there to Robert Downs III. Robert Downs pulls it in just short of a first down. So it'll be fourth down and 1 for the Hornets at the 22. Hewlett in the backfield. We get timeout by Nick Mitchell. Defense did not have the proper people on the field.
Yeah, Degnan Thiel was trying to run off, and so in the process, he's running off late, which therefore David Siliuta was late coming on, and Rustlers were going to be in trouble there had Nick Mitchell not burned that timeout. So a timeout taken with 8:44 left in this first half. And elsewhere around Golden West College, the defending state champion men's water polo team taking on Long Beach City today at 2:45 p.m. This is the first place game in the Southern California Regional. So, of course, rooting on our Rustlers water polo team, the women's water polo team, taking on Santa Barbara in a SoCal Regional semifinal today as well. So, Rustlers trying to get it done in the pool, bring back another banner here to Huntington Beach.
Their water polo program at Golden West College would remind you of the Hal Scherbeck history in football. I mean, they don't ever seem to lose in water polo here at Golden West College. Photo brings them out. Simpson in the slot and left. Eckford in the backfield. Eckford swings out. Just dropped in the breadbasket. It's Eckford turns the corner, runs out of bounds. Perfect pass, perfect catch. Out at the 13-yard line.
It may look easy. That's not an easy pass at all. The amount of touch that he had to put on that with the defender breathing down his neck. Nice job there by Photo.
Photo tries to get him to jump, looks over the sideline. Abdul Haq out wide to left. Simpson in the slot on the left-hand side. Richardson out wide to the right. Eckford still in the backfield. Shotgun formation, first down and 10. Photo keeps it himself, goes straight up the middle. That big offensive line just moves him down the field all the way down to the 5. So no matter who's in there quarterback, nothing changes. It's that same offense, the versatility, 4 deep at quarterback this year for the Hornets. Gerald Hewlett comes in. Justin Manyweather. Huffman comes in. So Manyweather's going to go in the slot on the right-hand side. Richardson's going to be out there with him. Also, Derice Simpson goes wide to the right. Huffman goes to the left. Hewlett in the backfield. Photo looks over. Second down and 4. Hands it to Gerald Hewlett. Stops and goes. Put on the break. Cuts inside. Finds an opening. Refuses to go down. Touchdown, Hornets. So Gerald Hewlett, who uses what Rahshuan Haylock talked about, the stop and go, the quickness, the shiftiness of a running back, slithers his way into the end zone for the Hornet with 7:32 to go here in the second quarter.
And Slithers is right, but just a tremendous individual effort there by Hewlett. But I go back to this Rustler defense, and Corey talked about it a little bit earlier on, the ability to tackle or inability to tackle. And that time right there is another chance they could have wrangled them up. Instead, it's a touchdown.
Ball is spotted, kick is up, and kick is good with 7:32 to go here in the first half. The Hornets 26, the Rustlers 0. You're watching Golden West College football on sports@usa.net. I'm going to go back and ask you, because has it been one thing that you would say following the Rustlers all these years, not just this year, Rahshuan, but this year seems to be that down year for Nick Mitchell? What is it?
Yeah, speaking with Coach Mitchell about this earlier this week, and it's been one of the more bizarre years in his tenure. I go back to a season which I call the forgettable season, back around 2009, I want to believe, when they were down to a wide receiver playing quarterback, and it was one injury here and one thing after another. But this was different in the sense that this team has the talent, but you got a bunch of new guys and you got a bunch of mistakes, and it's the season of what ifs, if you will. And I think that's something that we could probably touch on as this game goes along. A lot of what ifs for the Rustlers this season. A couple things go one way or another, and you're looking at a team that's maybe, 7-2 coming in here today, as opposed to, being 4-5. Little pooch kick here. Fair catch going to be called for and made at the 28-yard line by the Rustlers.
There's an abundance of talent, though, on this Golden West College team, though, is there not?
Yeah, I think, as Tykeem Murdoch there making the fair catch, I think this one of the more talented teams. I don't want to confuse talent with numbers. From a number standpoint and a depth standpoint, perhaps one of the larger and deeper teams Coach has ever had, and since I've been here. I think probably since he's been here as well. From a talent standpoint, definitely at a lot of positions, wide receiver group being one of them, quarterback being one of them, as Xavier Smith makes the catch here, and Smith across the 35-yard line. Picks up about 7 there, but definitely one of the more talented teams that he's had. 7:14 left in this one in the first half. 2nd down and 3 as Smith picked up 7 there on that first down play. Rustlers trying to get on the scoreboard for the first time here this afternoon. Johnny Buxa getting the start today, in case you're just joining us. Going to keep this one, and not going to have anywhere to go as Cole McCarty is able to grab him around the waist and throw him to the turf. And I say what ifs, right? You go all the way back to the second game of the season. They had Riverside beat at Riverside. Controversial call, overturned, would have been the game-winning touchdown for the Rustlers. So you take that loss there. I think the Cerritos loss, where they just kind of wet the bed on themselves there. That's a game everybody would tell you, that they wish that they could have back. 3rd down and 5. Buxa pumps and looking for Mouton, incomplete. That's going to bring up a 4th down. You go to the Saddleback game, it was one special team mistake after another. So that one was over really before it even got started in a game. And quite frankly, the Rustlers never really gave themselves a chance. And then you go last week, they had Grossmont beat. They squandered a double-digit lead in the second half. And Grossmont's able to come back and on the last second drive, win that one on a field goal. So you look at Riverside, you look at Cerritos, and you look at Grossmont. That's 3 games right there. You're looking at maybe a 7-win season. As instead, you got 4 wins and in danger of having a punt blocked, and it is. Fullerton special teams making an impact on this game for the first time today.
Malik Abdul-Haq, one of the wide receivers who I always talk about. His dad and I will talk on social media. And great young man, good wide receiver. He just never sees the ball that often thrown his direction. Comes in from the outside. He's the one that refuses to give up on that and takes the punter down. So, you know, this is the thing about this Hornet team. When you can't do one thing or you don't get the ball in the direction you'd like to get, there has been no selfishness on this team this year. You do what you can. Richardson goes out wide to left. Simpson in the slot on left, along with Justin Manyweather. They hand it off to Hewlett. Hewlett turns inside, cuts up the middle, gets taken down at the 6-yard line.
I mean, he's dangerous.
Oh, I tell you,
he's dangerous.
You know, and he's such a nice kid. We talked about it. He goes, "I'd love to touch the ball 20 times, Mark." He said, "I'd really have a great time out here." Johnny Photo says, "You know, Hewlett, throw me a block." He doesn't. Reaches out and grabs. Johnny Photo's going to get run out of bounds. Just short.
It seems like almost every year, you know, you're prepping, you're getting ready for this game. There's a flag on the play on this one.
Offense number 65, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot.
So they're going to get that. They're going to get that one on Jankovic.
As you look at the numbers, and for the tailbacks in particular, and you're not wowed by them at all. Like they don't jump off at the page at you, and it's like, all right, maybe the running game is not that strong. And then you get here in person, and then you see these guys, and it's like, why isn't this guy touching it 40 times a game? But, of course, you look on the outside, you got talent upon talent upon talent.
Yeah, and you really do have a offense that's based on giving the quarterback the option to run. Like Johnny Photo says, well, wait a minute. Mark, you told me I should run. Well, no, he should have set his feet and thrown it to Robert Downs III, who was all by himself.
When you go back through the years, I mean, just the talented tailbacks that have played here for this program. I mean, Hewlett's is one.
Ryan Bird, who played here.
Yeah, Ryan Bird.
Laborious, LV, ludicrous velocity is what I used to call him. He was so fast. You know, that you really have through the years.
guy from Crenshaw, Gregory, did an excellent job as well for these Hornets a few yards back.
Johnny Photo looking to go in the corner, taken there. They're going to call him in. He's just out at the 1-yard line. Going up, Robert Downs III stretches at the sidelines to pull it in.
Jeffrey Norwood, sorry, I misspoke.
So third, Hewlett goes from right to left. Huffman out wide to left. Grossman here. Johnny Photo keeps it himself. Ball comes out. It's going to get picked up in the end zone.
Coming back the other way, Gaiman Howard with it on the fortuitous bounce. It dribbles right to 24, and he gets it ahead to the 23-yard line of the Rustlers. A little cheapiness after the play is some Rustlers and Hornets getting mixed up, but a turnover, and if I'm not mistaken, second turnover of this game. First one forced by the Rustlers. Of course, Johnny Buxer threw that pick 6 earlier in this first half. So Rustler offense back onto the field, trailing 27-0. 4:57 left. Yeah, second quarter.
You wonder if that could be a momentum changer for this Rustler team.
And if you're Nick Mitchell and company, you're looking for just something you can grasp to give you a little momentum, as you said, Mark, as Tavai goes off right guard that time, and Cole McCarthy there once again.
Kerry Walker in at linebacker, so Kerry Walker helps out. So Walker is now in at linebacker. So they bring Kerry Walker. Well, they've actually got Kerry Walker as a defensive end on this side. So Walker's in the game, along with Bergueno. They're the down linemen on the right-hand side.
Under 4.5 to play, pistol set. 2nd and 13. Give it to Tavai in the flat. A hurdle by Rhino. And looks like he's going to lose another yard there.
And Jermichael Moore comes down the line of scrimmage, fights off the offensive lineman, and then makes a tackle. For most of you that say, Jermichael Moore, wait a minute. Yeah, he was on the air twice for a couple interviews during the basketball game. Multi-talented athlete, Jermichael Moore.
Low snap. Buxa escapes on the run, finds Ratzliff. And that's going to be a first down at the 35-yard line. But there is a flag on the play. It's been a theme here in this first half. In case you're just joining us, Rustlers had 8 penalties in the first quarter alone.
So David Richardson gets called for a holding.
This one going to go against the Hornets, and you can kind of hear a little sarcastic cheer from the Rustler crowd as that flag is one that's not against their team. 3.5 left in this second quarter. 27-0 Hornets. The #1 team in the nation, folks. And you get a chance to see why. Here's Tavon Valdez. Valdez at the 40-yard line. Pick up a 5. We were talking about the what-ifs and changes on the staff as well. Nick Mitchell, the defensive coordinator, he returned from last year, of course. John Shipp, the offensive coordinator, returned from last year. So you got your OC and your DC back. Your head coach, of course, Mitchell, wearing 2 hats. But throughout the staff, almost wholesale changes in a sense of different changes within the ranks of the position coaches. Buxa dribbles one to Sheldon White, and White with a stiff arm, but not going to be able to get much of any forward progress there at all. And so you're trying to adjust some new guys into the flow of things, into the way you do things here, and not to make any excuses or anything. I'm not speaking for Coach Mitchell at all, but you know, just kind of being here and noticing some things. I mean, that's kind of a lot to deal with in 1 year. And I joke with Mitchell throughout the year, you know, you have a level of success and people start picking and prodding some of your coaches away. They start plucking them away. And that's somewhat has been the case here. Under 2 to play. Buxa scrambling, pumping, stops, tries to pop, instead going to be sacked.
And Buxa, when he pulls it down, well, that's Montre Bonner. We're going to give Montre Bonner a half a sack on that, and Jamichael Moore gets the other half a sack on that. So we're going to let Moore and Bonner split the chicken, each get a half. So they'll be semi-full when they head to the locker room.
And shout out Dave Robinson once again. He said every time Fullerton gets a sack, make sure you mention my name. I remember at that time too, Coach. And how great were the years he spent here as the defensive coordinator for these Rustlers. Penalty on the play.
Justin Manyweather backpedal, signals for a fair catch, bobbles it right at the 29, but we've got a flag down in the back of the field. We'll see what that flag is all about. And I think they're going to call it again, illegal procedure against the Rustlers. Legal formation.
More than 5 in the backfield. We will replay after a 5-yard penalty.
So replay the down.
So they're going to give Justin Manyweather another opportunity. He is 1 return away from setting the Fullerton College record. Talked to him the other day. His dad's a police officer. We talked about him going to class. A student athlete, really, Rahshuan. He really is. He would love to go into law enforcement. His dad's not all for it because he says, I don't think you have the heart of a law enforcement. He doesn't mean that in a bad way. He just is a really nice young man who cares about people, and you know how tough law enforcement is.
Absolutely.
So we'll try it again. Here comes the pressure. Justin says, well, I'm going to let this one, I don't know, it's going to bounce. He does. I thought he touched it.
Sonatus was running with it the other way. He's in the end zone, but they blow it dead. Everybody in the building thought he touched it.
I thought he
Even my partner, who's got blue and gold Hornet shades on, thought that he touched it.
Wow. It looked like he put his hand down like you would short hop a ball as a shortstop. He put his hand down and realized, oh, I'm going to get an error on that. I'm going to let it go to the center fielder. He moved his hand quickly. I thought he touched it. The Golden West College staff thought he touched it. The official not in the right position to see that, though, Rahshuan, because the ball changes direction, too.
It did. It absolutely did. And it's a tough one that goes against the Rustlers. So they'll have to guard here the next 58 seconds.
Ladarius Skelton comes back in. Looking down there, Skelton's going to pull it down himself. This young man can run with the football. He is an athlete, to say the least. Turns the corner, stays on his feet, gets out of bounds to stop the clock at the 49.
And you see just the athleticism there that makes him a Division I caliber athlete. Had some offers coming out of high school in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. It was actually a Southern commit, but wanted to play quarterback, and those colleges wanted them to play a different position.
First down and 10. This again, he feels the pressure. He sidesteps another, takes off running, finds no block by Gerald Hewlett. Finally, he drops a knee and go down. And you know what? I'm going to ask you something about this because he is a true athlete. You've seen him. His throws haven't been there. If you were somebody recruiting, would you recruit him in that quarterback position?
I mean, you see, especially with the way football is today, right? When you got the zone read and quarterbacks are a weapon in the run game. So, I mean, he's definitely a guy I think you take a flyer on. It depends on his, and I'm not privy to the information, but just in terms of how much time he has left. It's just his first season here. And from what I know, he was just a student last year at Coffeyville Community College, so he should have 4 to play 3 going to the next level. And if that's the case, then certainly bring him in, throw a red shirt on him, and try to develop him as a passer because you know that running ability, that's not going anywhere. You can always rely on that, but try to develop him more as a passer, and you have someone who can be a legit threat. I'll tell you, Khalil Tate, he's running all through the Pac-12 right now. And I love the kid. Loved covering him when he was in high school. Had no clue that he would have a chance to be able to play the quarterback position in college. Knew he could run. Wasn't sure he'd be able to run the way he was running at Sarah. But not only is he running the way he was running at Sarah, but he's also throwing the ball a little bit for Rich Rod in the Arizona Wildcats. So you never know.
Yeah, and we saw him against USC. I thought they were going to pull that game out. Ladarius Skelton says to Rahshuan, Haylock, you're right, Rahshuan. I can run. And what's he get? He gets a block on the outside that lets him get down there. And once again, it's the wide receivers that throw blocks that break him as a running back.
Yeah, but he also has the escapability as well, right? And that's the stuff that you can't coach, right? The instincts, the ability to make guys miss, that stuff can't be coached, and that's what makes him special.
First and goal, down at the 5 after a great 25-yard run by Skelton. 25 seconds to go. The Hornets trying to get on the board again. He says, well, I've done all the work. I'm going to do the rest of it. He walks into Walmart and scores a touchdown.
Flag on the play underneath the Rustlers for a horse collar on this one. It looked like the touchdown should stand if we're correct up here in the booth. But Skelton, I mean, those legs are dangerous.
We talk about Ladarius Skelton. He averages 94 yards on the ground. Rahshuan, you talked about him being talented. You're averaging 9 yards a carry as a quarterback.
And he's leading the team in rushing.
He's leading the team in rushing.
And he's splitting every 2 series.
Yeah,
right?
Just, yeah. He's not out there the whole time.
Force collar tackle, defense number 37 will be tagged on to the kickoff.
So it is going to be against the Rustlers.
David Hendrick, another good quarterback, listed as number 4. These guys could start any place when you think about it. Johnny Carmack normally comes in on hold. Hendrick, who we should see later on today, is going to hold. The ball's going to be spotted at the 10. The snap, ball is spotted, kick is up, and the kick is good. With 21 seconds to go, it's the Hornets 34, the Rustlers 0. You're watching Golden West College football on Sportsnet, USA.net. You talked about Tate. I mean, I saw him play, and I'm going to go back because you followed so many good quarterbacks on the high school level that have gone to the college level. I mean, the college quarterback position is no longer, I know you're a youngster and I'm older, but Rahshuan, it has really changed in the last 6 to 7 years.
Absolutely. We're those guys like a Khalil Tate, like a Ladarius Skelton here, where they actually have a chance to go into a 4-year university and actually play the quarterback position because they're such threats in the run game. And because there's such threats in the run game, now it's even, right? Normally, if you're an offense and you got a traditional quarterback, you're typically playing 10 on 11, right?
Yep.
But now you got that guy that can run the rock. You're playing 11 on 11, and it kind of puts the defense more at a disadvantage. And so it really has changed. I mean, you go back to, I called him Superman just because I loved watching him so much. Pat White, when he was at West Virginia playing for Rich Rod, I think he kind of started this movement. Denard Robinson, those guys that kind of started this movement, and you got to throw Tebow in there as well. And since then, it's just been, I mean, the floodgates have opened. Rustlers going to take the kickoff. That's James Baldwin III, a hurdle at the 20, and he's pushed out of bounds. James Baldwin, he's got a baseball background, Mark. His father, the same name, pitched in the majors for 11 years. Baldwin himself actually played 5 years of minor league baseball in the Dodgers organization, also played 1 season in the White Sox organization as well. Once stole 35 bases in a season. So he's got a legitimate amount of speed, does Baldwin. Had 4 seasons of 20 or more stolen bases. And I shortchanged him. 53 bases he stole once in 2012 as a member of the Dodgers organization. And he was one guy who was pulling hard for the boys in blue when they made their run to the World Series, having played with a lot of those guys. Jermaine Roper gets the carry, and he goes down at the 26-yard line. So that'll be the lone play for the Rustlers on this drive. That'll take it into the locker room at the half. Remember, the Rustlers received the opening kickoff, so Fullerton will receive the second half kickoff and have an opportunity to increase this 34-point lead that they have now going into the locker room at halftime. What have you seen from this Fullerton College team that has maybe stood out to you in this first half, Mark?
Well, again, I'm going to go back to what has been something we talked about all year long was depth. We would go out to practice and watch these quarterbacks, the wide receivers, 13 deep at wide receiver, 6 deep at running backs, and 4 deep at quarterback. You hear Kane Wilson isn't going to play, got a little nick, he's going to sit down. You sit there and you go, Golden West, good team. You really don't want to lose it now. Ladarius, can he carry the load by himself? Hasn't had to. Johnny Photo comes out here and does his thing. What did we see against Moore Park? Well, they needed an audition of running backs. All of a sudden, Eckford shows up. Jeffrey shows up. You go, where did they come from? And Rahshuan, each week there's somebody else that steps up for this Fullerton team that makes them look like the reigning national champions in community college football here on Sportsnet USA. .net. They just keep getting better.
Hey, you want to be peaking. You want to be playing your best at this time of the year as you're going into the playoffs and hoping to make a big run if you're the Fullerton College Hornets. On this very special Veterans Day, we want to wish and say thank you to all the veterans out there for all that you've done, the service that you've performed. Want to wish all of you a happy Veterans Day. Golden West is planning to honor some vets on the field at the half. We'll step aside. We're hoping to effort an interview with Joe Pyle, the Rustlers' fantastic quarterback, coming up here at the half. So we'll step aside. At the half, it's Fullerton 34, Rustlers nothing, as you're watching Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net.
On game day, football players aren't the only ones suiting up. Our crew's ready for any play.
Yeah, can I get 1 box? Extra sauce and toast. Hydrated Idaho, Idaho. Tailgate to go.
So that's a box combo with extra cane sauce, Texas toast, fresh squeezed lemonade with crinkle cut fries, and a 25-finger tailgate?
Nailed it!
Football's just part of who we are. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Welcome back to Golden West Field on this very special Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day out there to all the vets. 34-0 our score here at the half. Fullerton, the #1 team in the nation, in command. Rahshuan Haylock here with you. Proud and pleased to be joined by number 16, Joe Pyle, so kind to join us up here in the booth. Joe, thanks a lot for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's get your mic on for one quick. There you go, Joe.
Oh, cool.
All right, now we got you. Sorry about that. So let's just go back to the beginning of this 2017 season. You enter the start of this season technically the fourth string quarterback. I know Adam Carr, he was kind of slotted in that third spot, but it was always intended that he would redshirt. Kalbacher goes down in the first half. Johnny Buxa goes down not too long after that. And then your number's called. What's going through your mind at that time?
It was kind of crazy. I definitely didn't expect it going in. Coaches always say be prepared, be ready to go. And then, the reps I was getting in practice, I tried to, do them the best I could and, try to always be on time to meetings, know what's going on. But, yeah, I really didn't expect to get thrown in there, but, it kind of worked out that way.
It certainly worked out to a sense that you were kind of just thrown in the fire there. And the interesting thing about that is Rustlers hadn't scored a touchdown until you came in. You actually led the team to its first touchdown drive of the season, and then you just kind of carried the mantle ever since. What's this season been like for you?
It's been fun. Moving out here from Nevada, it was a great experience living in Huntington Beach. Great football. I hadn't been playing. I was at University of Nevada, but I wasn't on the field, so it's my first time playing since my senior year of high school. So just playing football again has been really fun. Playing with friends, meeting new people. So,
over the course of probably the last month, something's clicked. And when it changed with you, it changed for this entire offense. It went from a somewhat pedestrian offense to all of a sudden an offense that could put up, a chunk yards upon yards upon yards. What happened?
I think as an offensive unit, we just kind of kept plugging along throughout the year, and we're just kind of waiting for our opportunity to really have everything clicking. So, coaches just really worked on, the whole unit, getting through kind of the rough patch that we had in the beginning of the year. So, and then more game experience, I think, as a whole unit, but in me in particular, too, kind of helped throughout the end of the year.
And what's it like as a quarterback when they're letting you throw the ball? You threw it 58 times last week.
Yeah, I can't say I ever threw it 58 times before.
I don't know that I've ever seen a quarterback here throw it that many times, to be honest with you. What's that like when you're just going back and just slinging it?
It's, just trying to do my job the best I can. It's kind of what they called for to do that game. Just try to do your job, I guess. Love throwing the ball, though.
What quarterback doesn't love throwing the ball, right? Joe Pyle, the quarterback of the Rustlers, joining us here at the halftime here at Golden West Field. Your running ability has been phenomenal as well. In fact, almost led these Rustlers to a win against RCC earlier this year, not to mention the great running game that you had at Palomar towards the end of the season. Growing up, was it always, did you always play the quarterback position as a dual threat, a guy being able to use both his arm and his legs, or is that something that kind of developed over time?
I think that more developed in high school. I've been playing quarterback since I was 8, but really just working out, getting quicker. It was always a knock on me growing up was that I wasn't quick or fast. So I really tried to emphasize that in high school, and then we went to a dual threat system in my senior year of high school and junior year of high school. So I just try to carry over that, and Coach Steele here really working on lifting, power lifts and everything. So I think it's really helped me.
You mentioned you're from Nevada, from Fallon, Nevada. You were part of the University of Nevada football program as well before you bounced back here. Sheldon White also was a part of that program.
Yeah.
You guys cross paths there at all?
Yeah, we were actually roommates my freshman year.
No kidding.
So what happened was I had decided maybe about going JUCO, called Sheldon and said, what's it like? And he said, oh, let me tell my coaches about you. So he put us in the communication, and then, I said, all right, well, come down. And it just kind of worked out. We're living together now. We're roommates at Nevada for a semester. So, really good friend of mine.
Nice. So what's football like in Fallon, Nevada? High school football, the Friday night lights. What's set the scene for us? What's it like out there?
Small town. Everyone's at the game. It's packed. our program has been really good. Coach Hill and Coach Atawafi still there when I was in high school. They're still there now. Won a state championship the year after I left. Went to a state championship my junior year, so it's a really great program. Huge shout out to them. They do a great job. So
where exactly is Fallon?
It's about an hour east of Reno. It's a big military town. That's where Top Gun is. My dad's actually in the military.
Okay.
So
nice. So salute to your dad.
Yeah.
On this
Veterans Day.
On this Veterans Day. Go ahead. Give him a shout out.
Shout out to Dad.
Shout out to Papa Pile here on this Veterans Day. What's it like? We'll go sticking with the whole Reno theme. Your quarterback there, and they actually moved you to wide receiver. What was that like during that time when you were playing wide receiver, and then obviously quarterback is in your heart. You ended up here, but how did that whole process work out?
Yeah, so I went a year and a half at quarterback, and then there was a coaching change my last semester there. They brought in a new coach, and it was just kind of different. Didn't really fit in their scheme for the long term. So then they told me, try receiver, see how you like it. And I went out there, did spring ball as a receiver. It really wasn't for me. It's really hard to compete at the Division I level when you are going against guys who have played cornerback and receiver their whole lives. And I'm just trying to, compete there. So then I decided to go JUCO because I really had quarterback in my heart and wanted to go out and play.
And Coach Polian was there when you got there, correct?
Yeah, Coach Polian was there for my first year and a half. And then Coach Rolovich was my OC my first semester, and now he's the head coach of Hawaii.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, the local guy from here, Cody. You say Fajardo, I say Fajardo. He was the quarterback there at the University of Reno for a while, now playing up in Canada. So had some eyes from this area on that University of Nevada Reno program. So you come here, obviously, to Golden West, and you kind of get thrown into the fire, and you go from guy kind of buried on the depth chart to the starter, and all of a sudden you star. And once we get towards the end of the season, obviously you're missing this game here today. Last game of the season, now you got to be a little bit bummed. You're not out there with your boys.
Yeah,
today.
Really disappointed. Really wanted to finish the year off strong. It's been a great year. I think I just have to give a huge shout out to the O-line, the receivers, the coaching staff. They've just done a great job helping me develop and helping the offense work. And I just think it was a great experience here for me.
What about playing for Coach Mitchell and John Shipp? What's that experience been like for you?
It's been great. They're great guys. They really care about their players first. They're always there hanging out in the office and stuff. Just great coaches, great football minds. Just really helped me a lot develop as a better football player throughout my semester here.
Nice. So you're December grad, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a major yet? Or?
I've been a math major. I was an engineering major at Nevada.
Whoa!
So.
Smart guy here.
Trying.
Okay, nice. I mean, I have a hard enough time figuring out whether it was a 8-yard gain or a 7-yard gain from up here. So you got math major, engineering. Thoughts about that long term?
I did electrical engineering at Nevada. I just placed well into math as a kid. Always really liked math.
Nice. Not
really sure what I want to do yet. Just kind of keep working, try to live out the football part and see where that takes me.
See where that takes you. Nice. Well, I know you got a future somewhere. Well, thank you so much for what you've done here and for this program. It was a treat watching you this year, and just what a phenomenal story it's been for you and for this Rustler family and football team. A guy, the underdog. You come from, started off the season as the 4th-string quarterback, and it got to the point where, the guys that were behind you, weren't able to take you away from that spot, and so it was a tremendous test of showing of your character and the hard work and everything that you put in. So it was really a treat and a joy to watch, especially these last couple of weeks when things really started to turn the corner for you. So thanks so much, Joe.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Joe Pyle, the pride of Fallon, Nevada, joining us here at the half. We'll step aside. Halftime here at Golden West Field. Fullerton 34, Rustlers nothing. When we come back, we'll give you some first half stats and analysis. Mark and Corey will be back as well as we get ready to start the second half right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Halftime here at Golden West Field. It's been all Hornets 34-0. We apologize. No stats for you. Had a little malfunction with the equipment up here, so as soon as we get that back up and running, we'll be able to get that to you. We'll go over a couple of scores around the SCFA. Saddleback on top of OCC 17-14 at the half. ELAC on top of Glendale 28-0. Santa Ana leading PCC 31-14 at the half. And in the third quarter, Mount San Jacinto and San Bernardino Valley all knotted at 14 apiece. Chaffee all over LA Harbor 25-6 at the half. And of course, this game at the half 34-0. One thing we do know, one thing we can report, Ladarius Skelton, a couple of rushing touchdowns in that first half, and Gerald Hewlett was the beneficiary of one of those passes from Skelton for a touchdown. Hewlett has looked really, really good, and Skelton has too. I imagine this is something you guys see on a weekly basis.
Well, Gerald Hewlett's carried the ball 4 times for 16 yards in this game. He's caught 4 passes for 93, so he's got a touchdown rushing, a touchdown passing. Ladarius Skelton 5 of 8 for 105 yards. Johnny Photo 6 of 10 for 86 yards in this game. But Gerald Hewlett, it's been the catching the football day for him, Rahshuan Haylock. Corey, we haven't seen him utilized a lot as a wide receiver, but today's game, they're utilizing the running back to supplant the rushing attack by Ladarius Skelton. Rahshuan Haylock said he'd take Ladarius Skelton tomorrow and let him be the starting quarterback for his team. I forgot. I asked you a question. You've been gone so long, we don't let you talk no more.
Skelton's one of those guys.
Take the muzzle off of him.
You would start him because he is special. And Gerald Hewlett, he's the type of guy who you get touches and he'll make things happen. He's carried the ball 20 times in 2 games this season. First game he had 99 yards. Second game he had 95 yards. So you get the ball in his hands and he will do dynamic things. Real quick, we want to thank everybody in Virginia for listening to us. Dominique B., always glad to receive your tweets. We know everybody in Lorton, Virginia is watching and listening to us, and it's very special when we have that crowd out here, especially when you come out and meet them.
Well, guys, we're going to see what happens. Corey Neyland's favorite player is back deep. Justin Manyweather is close to us. Robert Downs the third on the far side of the field. They're going to kick it to Robert Downs, and let's see if that ball's going to go out of bounds. He catches it right there at the 20, looking to set up a wall, cuts upfield. There's nothing but white jerseys. If he could get away, he gets taken down at the 25.
Nice jobs by Mr. Downs the third, and Fullerton, let's see what they got. And there is a penalty flag on the play at the 35-yard line. So it's going to go on Fullerton, you assume.
And it's holding against the Hornets, so that's going to move them back. Ladarius Skelton started this game off better statistically pass-wise than I thought he was, guys, but he was only threw the ball 8 times in that first half.
Because he had 5 completions. 4 of those completions were Gerald Hewlett, 5 yards out of the backfield.
Yeah, and when you look at it, they looked at him out there. I mean, it's wide receivers galore that go out and get the football. Robert Downs the third, out wide to the left. Darius Simpson in the slot on the left-hand side. Justin Manyweather in at wide receiver. The far left time, Ladarius Skelton starts Eckford. Throws Eckford out in the flat, looking for a block out there. Eckford gets tripped up right as he crosses the 15-yard line. Gain of maybe 2 on the play.
And Fullerton, again, the safe passes with Skelton to the outside. Marquell Johnson made the stop. And there is Hewlett. You got to think he's very dynamic in the backfield. You open up a hole for him.
And they listened, or they didn't. Skelton says, I'm going to throw it, throws it out here to the flat. Quickly taken by Justin Manyweather. Justin Manyweather trying to get a block downfield, and this is what they do. Devontae Richardson throwing blocks down the field to help Justin Manyweather.
This is the best set of blocking wide receivers, I'm going to say, in the state.
So they're going to flip from left to right. Devontae Richardson goes to the far side of the field with Simpson, Justin Manyweather. Huffman comes to the near side of the field. Ladarius Skelton in the backfield. He keeps it himself. Comes off a left tackle. Flag is thrown on the play. He gets across the 40. We'll see what the penalty is.
You don't know if it's going to be on Delton Crandall, just brought down. Who was that? Damon Roberts.
Personal foul against the Rustlers. Automatic first down for Hornets. And that's all we got was a personal foul signal. The mic is not working for the referee, so Rahshuan, we can't tell what it is from up here.
I mean, I thought like you, maybe a chop block or something. I saw Roberts go down and come up a little gingerly, Corey, but interesting call there. Another 15-yarder, another big boy penalty charged against the Rustlers, Mark.
Once again, that's been the story of this football game besides the dynamic Fullerton offense. First down and 10, right at the 44. Skelton goes back, steps up. The pressure, Skelton says, well, guys, if you're going to run by me, oh, he pulls off a Peter Pan and goes down at the 25-yard line.
Skelton getting airborne there that time. Nice open field tackle by Desmond Posse, but Skelton showing the athletic ability once again.
Fleming comes in. Hoffman, the big tight end, is going to show up. Skelton stays out there. First down and 10 at the 27. We're going to get an official timeout as there's a Rustler down in the field. So with 13:21 to start the second half, it's the Hornets 34, the Rustlers 0. You're listening and watching Golden West College football on Sportsnet, USA.net. Don't forget, all our games here on SportsNetUSA.net are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Hey, it's Veterans Day, and as we know, there's always specials for everybody of every ages, shapes, and size, especially those who have served our country at Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Take a ride over there if you're a veteran or a family member. Check out those new 2018 Toyotas. Hey, the 2017s that are still there, it's Christmas time. Mom and Dad need a new car. Corey Neyland needs a new car. What better place to go? That's Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Located at Euclid in the 91, Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports, high school sports, but most of all, education. That's Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Look at those three handsome guys. I'm still looking for them too, but I saw three handsome guys. I'm not sure where they are. I can't say that too loud. That'll scare Justin Manyweather.
I also want to thank everybody in Arizona for listening to us.
And the veteran in Arizona, too. It's Veterans Day. Let's thank both the Jernigan brothers for what they did. For your partner, Andrew King, who is a veteran, to thank him for what he's did.
Special happy Veterans Day to my longtime broadcast partner, Andrew King. And hopefully he's enjoying this day. And also get well soon to Andrew King, who's been battling, having some challenges, but enjoyed another great season with you, partner. Know you're out there listening today. Get well soon, buddy.
And also out of Monrovia, Brian Norman always listened to us. He tweeted last night. He said the last 2 years for Fullerton College kind of spoiled him for the rest of football that he watches all the time. So, Brian, good to hear from you. See you soon.
Devin Fleming going out wide to the left. Huffman out wide to the right. Skelton looking. Throws to Eckford, coming out of the backfield. Stops, goes, cuts back in. Does a little dance down the sideline. First down, Hornets.
We've seen two moves by Fullerton players, and one by Golden West on the sideline with hesitation, stop and stop, stutter steps. Just very athletic guys out there making plays. A 5-yard play turns into 15.
First and goal for the Hornets at the 9. Skelton says, let me flip it in the end zone. It's a jump ball. Incomplete pass.
Nice coverage there on the play. Looked like that Sonatus there on the coverage. And you see the ball skills there as he really attacked that ball right there as it was in the air. Almost came up with the interception.
So it's going to bring a second and goal for the Hornets right at the 9. Eckford stays in the backfield. Devontae Richardson out wide to the left. Fleming in the slot on the left-hand side. Looking that direction. Ladarius Skelton's going to take it himself. Nice undercut before he could get running at the 7.
And Skelton tried to play the pocket passer, but good fit downfield coverage. You know how safeties, linebackers drop too deep into the end zone when you get down first and goal, second and goal. This time, Golden West man-to-man. Those passing lanes just weren't there.
Eckford in at running back. Huffman out wide to the right. Tight end Hoffman in tight on the left-hand side. Fleming out wide left with Richardson. They hand it to Infante. Eckford stops and starts. Does what Corey Neyland says he does, but this time he stops and starts right into a defensive brick wall. Avery Jones makes the tackle on that for Golden West College. Brings up a 4th down for the Hornets, and we can hear from the sideline. Field goal, field goal, field goal will be the attempt right down here. Estrada will come on in right now. He's made 2 out of 6 so far this season. Ball is spotted, kick is up. Make it 2 for 7. As Golden West College defense steps up large and shows up the way Corey Neyland did here in the second half.
You talked about Avery Jones making that last stop. I mean, he's really been in that linebacking core. He's really been a solid, consistent contributor, the bright spot all season long. This is a linebacking core that has been decimated by injuries of late. They lost 3 linebackers in the last couple of weeks due to injury. And to combine that, the only returning linebacker they had, David Aldapa, he got hurt earlier in this year, season-ending knee injury. And so no starters, or not anyone with significant playing time from last season returning in this linebacking core. Avery Jones, the first-year guy, not playing like it this year. As the run there by the Rustlers on 1st down goes down for no gain. It was Roper there on the carry.
Darrell came in blitz from his middle backer position. And he wasn't the starter to start this season. He came in that College of the Canyons game and hasn't relinquished his starting duties.
For Watt. J5 takes the snap. He is just leveled in the backfield. Noble there. Noble got there before the play could even develop, guys.
Well, it wasn't going to develop. Noble was there. It was a play-action pass, and Noble was there. If Noble doesn't get there and get blocked, Montre Bonner was coming from his weak side, or from his blind side, and he was going to get him.
So this drive going backwards in a hurry. 3rd down and 16 for the Rustlers. Buxa steps up. Tries to escape, not going to be able to. Montre Bonner, 2nd sack of the game. Team leading 8th of the season. And going to bring up a 4th down for the Rustlers.
That's 2 this game, Corey Neyland. That gives him what in his career?
A lot.
You should know. You normally know from me when I ask you that. Corey Neyland's got him unofficially holding the sack record for Fullerton College in a career.
And we're going to stand by that. Right now, 12 sacks now. 17 sacks on the season. No, 19 sacks in his career.
2 today.
Yeah, so 2 today, 19 on a career.
High snap. Ball gets off. Justin Manyweather signals for a fair catch at the 50-yard line. So Manyweather gets his opportunity but has to signal for a fair catch. It'll be 1st down and 10 at the 50 here on sportsnetusa.net.
So 19 sacks in a career, unofficially the career record here at Fullerton College. And tackles for loss, he's got 31. Not a bad career.
Montre Bonner keeps racking up the season records and the career records here for the Hornets. Johnny Photo comes out at quarterback. Hewlett at the running back. Richardson out wide to the right. Huffman out wide left. Big hands. Marcus Grossman in the slot on the left-hand side. Nice to see him back on the field. Photo looks over. Keeps it himself. Throws it short and wide. Incomplete passes. They fake it to Hewlett. Good coverage.
That's that RPO, that run pass option. Oregon made it so famous. And it looked like just a rush there, right? And it never really got his feet underneath them, and a little bit off balance there. Almost like a shortstop kind of side-armed it. Too far out in front of the intended wide receiver downs.
get a flag on the field. They pick it up. It's a sideline warning to the Hornets. So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 10. Richardson out wide to the right. Robert Downs the third in the slot on the right-hand side. Huffman out wide to the left. Grossman in the slot on the left-hand side. Photo looks over, gives a sign. Hewlett in the backfield with him. 2nd down and 10 at the 50. Goes back. Throws it to Richardson. Richardson turns and has his back cracked. Nice little chiropractic work at the 45.
Stetson Sonatas there on the coverage.
Goes down at the 45-yard line.
3rd down and 5. At the 45. Photo looking over. 8:50 to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Hornets 34. The Rustlers 0. Photo goes back. Looks the right side again. Devontae Richardson says, throw it to me once, I'll catch it. Throw it to me twice, I'll catch it and make more yardage. 1st down Hornets.
Goes down at the 31-yard line. 1st down, Fullerton.
And it looks like there's somebody down. I see Juan Cuevas ran over to the sidelines. I don't know who went down over there, guys.
It's an injured Rustler. But I'm with you. I didn't see it. We're blocked off by the sideline here.
So we have an official timeout on the field with 8:36 to go here in the 3rd quarter. It's Fullerton 34, Golden West College 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Sean Haylock, you mentioned the water polo playoffs are currently going on here at Golden West College right now.
Yeah, Golden West in a big game. What time is it right now? 3:01. So just got underway. We suppose the defending champion men's water polo team taking on Long Beach City. That one was scheduled for 2:45, and the women's were in action today as well against Santa Barbara in a SoCal regional semifinal.
Got a quick. When isn't the Golden West men's water polo team in the finals? I'm just saying it should just be a formality. Everybody else is playing to play them.
As long as I've been here, it seems like they've held the mantle in the athletic department. One of the more, probably the most successful sport here on campus, the water polo program. And that's Sonatas, who's the injured Rustler. He was right in front of the Hornets sideline. He's able to walk off under his own strength, but a little gimp in his hitch.
And we talked about Montre Bonner the last time with his 2nd sack of the game. His fan club in Virginia used the at this time, at AKA_Princess06. Dominique B. Taught him everything he knows.
Well, Johnny Photo has a fan club, too. His grandmother is his biggest fan out there. We talked to her as the season started. As Afonte Eckford comes out, Malik Abdul-Haq goes out wide to left with Simpson on the left-hand side. Richardson out wide to the right. Eckford in the backfield. 1st down and 10 at the 32 for the Hornets. Photo looks things over, goes back, doesn't feel any pressure, steps up now, has an opportunity in the middle of the field, ball goes up. Simpson comes down with a touchdown, Hornets.
And what a throw by Johnny Photo over 2 defenders. It was defended pretty well, but an excellent throw by Photo over 2 defenders and Simpson's concentration. I thought he stopped too soon. It was going to be overthrown, but an athletic grab and 6 for the Hornets.
So Johnny Photo gets on the board with 8:25 to go here in the 3rd quarter. David Hendrick comes out to be the holder on the extra point. Ball will be spotted at the 10. Ball is spotted, kick is up, and the kick is good with 8:25 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Well, it looks like that 10-0 season may be a reality. It's now the Hornets. Well, they've got, there it is, 41. The Rustlers 0. You're watching Golden West College football on Sportsnet, USA.net.
Last shout out for a while, Matt Norman in Hawaii, ex-Fullerton lineman, is also watching. Got nice weather over there.
Not a bad place to be.
No, not bad at all.
We were talking, of course, Rahshuan was talking about Gerald Hewlett, how smooth he is, how he can stop and start. We were talking about Laverius. We were talking about Ryan Berg. Corey, you've been around long enough. One of the, do I put him in the top 5 maybe as running backs at Fullerton College, Hewlett?
No.
Where do you put him?
up there, but not. I don't know. Ryan Bird, Andrew Greer, Jeff Andrews, Mike Charles, and Joe Chapman, Kenny Turner, Kelvin York.
Boy, he's moving down the food chain quickly, isn't he?
Yeah, Gerald Hewlett is just as dynamic and has got as many touches as those guys. Yeah, you might be.
Short kick taken at the 20-yard line by the Rustlers. And a short return up to the 32-yard line. Kelvin York, he went on to play at Utah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
He was special. I remember watching him. A name I brought up, and I know he's not in this mix at all, but just to add to just the lineage of tremendous tailbacks that I've seen at Fullerton, Jeffrey Norwood.
Yeah.
He did a tremendous job while he was there.
Yeah, and Kelvin York holds a single-season rushing touchdown with, I think, 17. Well, Gerald Hewlett has 14.
J5 going to keep it himself and thrown down to the turf at the 30-yard line.
No gain on the play.
There's Roy Otto, who has learned to adapt as a linebacker with a very good defensive line and understood that defensive line has made him an excellent linebacker by reading the blocks by offensive linemen on a Montre Bonner, which allows him an alley to a running back.
Under 8 to play in this third quarter, 41-0. Fullerton, the sizable lead here. Here's a pass up the far sideline to Hargo. Picked up and thrown to the turf, but not before a first down and more, just shy of midfield. Down at the 43-yard line. And a pickup, 48-yard line, pardon me. Pickup of 17 there for the Rustlers. Tavai back in there at a tailback, and I want to say thanks to his folks, Brian and Kiana, for coming up here and saying hello to us at the half. Brian says he's been listening all year from Utah, so we appreciate his support of the Rustler football broadcast here on SportsNetUSA.net. There's Rhino being aggressive, being a Rhino, running over Hornets there and getting to midfield. A short pickup. But that's what he can do, is he lowers that boom and he makes you feel him when he carries the ball, does number 22 in black.
Yeah, Cody Darrow has that cleat mark. The rest of his defensive unit up front, right to left, Bonner, Rose, Noble, and Proctor and Noble, Darrow, Otto, and Johnson, the linebackers, near side Bullock. Go ahead, Rashawn.
Second down and 7 from midfield. 6.5 to play. Pressure coming. Fade being thrown for Mouton and just out of his grasp. One-on-one coverage there for Fullerton by Fisher.
Fisher's out there joined by the safeties, Jacob Jones and David Farmer, and Davion Bullock is on the near side here, number 4.
Twin wide receiver set. 3rd and 7 from midfield. J5 has gone the distance to this point for the Rustlers. It's the only healthy quarterback who's seen action this season. As this one too tall for Deese. And there's a late flag going to come in from the opposite side of the field. That coverage there on the play was made by Bullock, who came in there and got his hand on the ball.
Now you see the flag on the far side. Both Otto, and I didn't catch the lineman out there, both of them were tangled up. So if you're going to call unnecessary roughness or a personal foul, you're thinking it should offset.
Personal foul, defense number 51. Automatic first down.
So they got the initial guy.
Normally that never happens,
Yeah.
right? They always get the guy who retaliated.
Yeah, because it was a Golden West lineman who retaliated, but it was Roy Otto who initiated the scrub.
Roper back in there at a tailback for Golden West. 6:15 left. Third quarter action here. Rustlers trying to scratch the scoreboard for the first time. Quick pass out to Sheldon White. The lefty's going to throw it downfield. Xavier Smith, no, but there is a flag on the play. Make it 2 flags on the play. As the corner, David Farmer, was there, and he was holding up X.
Yeah, a pass wasn't going to be completed, but David Farmer, as he's turning around, grabbed a hold. And, yeah, you got to throw the flag on that play. That's the second game in a row we've seen that type of play. I think Rahshuan saw OCC try to complete that against Golden West a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and unsuccessfully.
They
tried to do it twice. One time they were unsuccessful, dropped. The guy was wide open, Rutledge, and he dropped it. The next time they were able to pick up a couple of yards on it. They actually ran it twice in the game.
Last week they had Fullerton by 20 yards on that play and just wasn't even close.
So it is a pass interference. Moves the ball to the 20. 1st and 10 Rustlers. 4 wide. Buxa pumps. Flushed out of the pocket. Throws off his back foot. And that one not even close. And look out. There's some more pushing and shoving. And the ref... There's 5:51 left to play here in this 3rd quarter. As I bite my tongue here up in this broadcast booth.
Yeah, you know,
last game of the season.
Our little
Don't
partners,
cut your left.
Our little partner's grown up over the years, huh? Before it would have been okay, that's a penalty. Now he's bleeding green and gold on this field.
Unreal.
A little home cooking to my left.
Unbelievable.
Actually, it was fast food to go. There ain't no home cooking here today.
Timeout taken by the Rustlers.
This is not Vanguard University basketball, Mark.
5:51 left to play in this 3rd quarter. And while we have a moment, I want to remind you, LA Valley football returns to SportsNetUSA.net tonight at 6 p.m. as LA Valley takes on Santa Barbara. Tonight, 6 p.m. right here on your home of Monarchs football, SportsNetUSA.net.
Aaron Rosenberg, Luke Hobbs calling the action.
Nice.
For LA Valley. So it's nice to have Aaron back again. Thank you for the season. And Luke, thank you for traveling up and doing the games for LA Valley here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Talked to LA Valley coach Jason Vanderveer, one of the offensive coordinator up there, and he said that they were having a rough time this season for LA Valley. They just haven't been able to execute on any level. And it's just one of those things. Watch the Allen Hancock game. We talked about that one when they lost, and it was just one of those, just didn't show up.
It was a quick conversation of an hour and 15 minutes.
Love talking to Jason.
Effective is what that's called. 4 wide. Buxa over to Mouton. And a nice job there on the outside by Brown to hold him up. And he waited for some company to come over and help him as he limits that reception to just a gain of 4. Up to the 16-yard line. Brings up a 3rd down for the Rustlers. 3rd and 6.
And see if they chip on Montre Bonner on the left side if they're going to throw this pass, because he's been close.
Hornets showing pressure up the middle. They come. Buxa, double move to Deese, and unable to hook up with him.
Looked like he was just jogging out there on a route that a little bit more dramatic may have had a chance coming out of his break.
And I tell you, one thing about Derek Deese, he's really been pushed and challenged by this coaching staff this season. I mean, they've even snatched him out of the starting lineup just because of some of the mental miscues that he's made throughout this year. Here's the field goal attempt, and it is good. That one from 33 yards. So the Rustlers get on the board for the first time today. It ends up being a 33-yard field goal off of the foot of none other than Manny Cuevas. So 4:57 left. Fullerton 41, Rustlers 3. So there goes the shutout.
You know, Rahshuan, I got to ask you about Booksaw because I like him. I mean, I know this is a fierce rush by the Hornet team. The down lineman, Corey, come after him. This kid stands there. I haven't seen this kid panic and throw away. So, I mean, even though his percentage of completion is 36, he's a better quarterback than his numbers given.
And that's been in mop-up duty, and he hasn't really played much at all this season. He was the backup coming in, but he injured his shoulder in the first game. And so missed a few weeks, and by that time, Pyle was the guy, and they were kind of splitting time. And then Pyle eventually was able to take that step and take the job. But yeah, I mean, he's a warrior. Man. He led St. Anthony's to a championship last season. He's a guy that gets after it.
David Fleming comes running up, catches it at the 20, takes it up to the 26. First down and 10 for the Hornets with 4:51. Here in the 10th game of the conference, it's the Hornets 41. Golden West College 3. You're watching Rustler football on SportsNetUSA.net. Corey Neyland, Rahshuan, Haylock, Ed Ford down at the end of the table, just quietly run into the airplane. You know what, guys? This is a smooth flying plane. Corey Neyland hasn't bailed out on us yet. Well,
give it time.
That's what I'm waiting for. There it goes. We're heading for the bottom. Johnny Photo brings out the team. Photo looking to throw. Pump fakes. Now's looking. Goes to Justin Manyweather. Manyweather in the flat. Sidesteps. Turns upfield. Manyweather stopped at the 30. Turns upfield. Gets an additional 10 yards after the catch.
And you see why they kick it away from him, Rahshuan. I mean, he's dynamic. And if he just runs on the punt returns, he'd have 5 this season.
Johnny Photo looked like he might pull it down and take off running. So one of those larger guys that are hard to disguise sauntered downfield. It's like opening up a rhino pen.
That might be the 6th or 7th time we've seen that penalty against Fullerton this year.
Yeah, they just, you know what, because you have running quarterbacks, they do play the run well. Photo looks over the sideline. Eckford in the backfield. Richardson out wide to the right. Simpson next to him. Justin Manyweather. Go to the left side or the far side. Huffman out there on the left side. Eckford, the running back. Photo in a shotgun. Goes back. Look in the middle of the field. Justin Manyweather catches it. Pulls it in on a pass in his hands that he bobbled and brought to the ground.
Nice job there to be able to hold on to that ball, knowing he was going to take a big shot across the middle.
First down and 10 at the 45. Photo brings him up. Feeling comfortable. We get motion. He gets a flag. He's going for everything down the sideline. Huffman looking over his shoulder. Just thrown out of bounds at the 15.
I say this every time. Every time I'm amazed how a hard count out of the shotgun could draw guys offside.
You got me. Let me just reset the offensive line then, because Rashad Harris is center. Right guard is Samuel Davis. Right tackle is Jacob Jakoviak. Left guard is Delton Crandall, and the left tackle is Eric Pulliam. Yeah, I don't know, Rahshuan. It's one of those things that they should be looking at the ball, right?
They should be. First down and 5 at the 50. Marcus Grossman comes back in the game. Robert Downs III comes in.
Grossman needs 2 receptions to break the top 10 career for Fullerton.
Richardson out wide left with Robert Downs III. Grossman here to the right. Photo goes back. There's Marcus Grossman on a delayed screen that gets him back to the original line of scrimmage. There's one catch for no yards.
As Alex Barnes did a nice job of being able to make that stop there, but who really deserves the credit for that one is number 8, the defensive end, Tyler Vaimaona. He read screen, and he was able to get back and clip the receiver there at the ankles.
Eckford decides, wait a minute, am I going to get it or not? The count's on 2. I think I'll leave on 1. Just a little illegal motion by the Hornets.
A little bit. He was across the line of scrimmage before the snap, Mark.
I'm old. My mind doesn't work that quick.
Grossman now 1 away to break the top 10.
So it's going to move it back to the 45. 2nd down and 10 for the Hornets. 3:38 to go here in the third quarter. It's the Hornets 41, the Rustlers 3. Grossman looks over. Photo at quarterback. Eckford in the running back. So it's Huffman, Grossman on the right side. On the far side of the field, Richardson with Simpson in the with Robert Downs the third in the slot on the left-hand side. Photo says, no, I'm going to get it. He gets sacked, gets away, stays on his feet, goes down for a big loss, Rahshuan.
Tyler Vimona got in there. He almost came up with the strip sack fumble, but instead he winds up with just a sack. Photo was praying for dear life there. He was able that he'd be able to escape the grasp of number 8 at that time, but unable to do so.
3rd down, and let's give it 10. Simpson on the left side with Richardson. Over on the right is Huffman. Photo, shotgun, goes back, looking for get a block. Fonte Eckford trying to sneak out. Photo's got to throw the middle of the field. Coming back, Justin Manning Wither overshoots him. Dangerous. At the 45, it's going to bring up a 4th down, one of the few for the Hornets today.
Dangerous throw there by Photo. Running to his right, throwing it back across his body over the middle. And he's very fortunate that that one was not picked off there by the Rustlers.
Yeah, and you had 2 receivers just streaking down the field. That's one of those plays where you don't just set your feet, throw it downfield about 30, 40 yards. If you get picked, it's the same as a punt.
Tony Estrada back will punt this one away. He's standing at the 23.
Markel Johnson runs over to this one, going to take it off of a hop, escapes the grasp of one, or thought he escaped. Instead, he's just slung out of bounds. He's a guy that if he can get his hands on the ball in space, he can do some damage. That being Markel Johnson, number 9 for your Rustlers. Next week, it'll be playoff time for these Fullerton College Hornets. Selection Sunday is tomorrow. They'll find out their fate. Make sure you tune in to sportsnetusa.net for game time. Of course, we'll have it for you on your home of Hornets football, sportsnetusa.net. So they play their home games over at Chappelle Field, Yorba Linda High School. Not going to be able to play the playoff games there. However, talking to Coach Burns, yesterday, he said playoffs, they're going to have to move to Whittier College. Your guys' thoughts about that? We'll get him after this play. Books a low snap. They try to set up a screen. Pass caught. Rhino Tavai. Tavai with some room. Rhino in the open field across the 40 and tackled from behind at the 43-yard line.
Now, Corey, there's a late flag. It's going to be against the Rustlers.
And it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. There were 3. It was like a rear-end accident. There were 3 players in there that couldn't stop. It was Fullerton and Golden West, Fullerton, Golden West. All 3 players couldn't stop because the play was still going on. It's one of these flags you have to pick up and keep going. Tavai, I mean, he's playing well. I mean, but again, that 15-yard penalty is devastating because it's a penalty that, yeah, it may look bad, but that's just perception. It wasn't bad at all.
I'll tell you what, we'll talk about Whittier College if you talk about the referees in this game.
No, Whittier College, I've always wanted to be a poet. I've always wanted one of those shirts so I can call myself a poet, so.
What, you mean I got to break into a locker room and get you a shirt or something?
No, I'm going to rhyme every word I say next week.
Oh, my goodness.
So the first down stands. Spot a foul penalty, moves the Rustlers back. It's going to be a 1st and 10. Here's Hargo. Ramel Hargo with the catch. Inside the 20. A beautiful feed from J5. But there is a flag on the play.
There is a flag on the field.
Looks like 2. You're going to get a hold on Bullock down here. I don't know if that's going to be the same flag, but that was an outstanding catch. He caught that with one arm, that left arm, and it was a perfect throw. And you can't get any better than that.
Do you see how intimidating our partner is here on sports@usa.net? We were going to have him talk publicly about the officials, and they throw a flag against the Hornets. You are a powerful young man.
Pick up of 54 yards on the play from Buxa to Hargo. 1st and 10 Rustlers from the 17-yard line of Fullerton. Roper behind Buxa, who's in the pistol. Stretch play to Roper. Tries to get on the outside. And he picks up 3 across the 15 down at the 14 as we approach a minute to play.
Rahshuan, if Xavier Smith makes a block on the outside there for the Rustlers, you still have a running back heading for the goal line. I think that's one of the points when we look at this Hornet team has really been the wide receivers throwing blocks downfield.
Right? That's the difference,
right?
Right?
Yeah, I really do.
Buxa looking for X over the middle, incomplete. And oftentimes you talk about these championship teams or championship caliber teams, it's not necessarily the things that show up on the stat sheet, right? It's those little things, those intangibles, the will, the want to go out there on every single play and do not just your job, but do your job the right way, right? And I mean, I've seen it firsthand today, the way these receivers have been able to block downfield, and that's a very underrated skill on any level of football. 3rd down for the Rustlers. 3rd and 7 from the 14. Buxa looking, Sheldon White, end zone! Touchdown! No!
Buxa's pass is incomplete. Receiver was out of bounds.
They say White was out of bounds. And so it's a 4th down coming up here for the Rustlers. It looked like Sheldon White was able to reel that one in, but he did so out of the end zone.
Sarah Smith made such a great play on the play before, undercutting the quick 2-step slant. This time he bit on the pump fake.
Offense stays out there on 4th down. 38 ticks left here in this 3rd quarter. Rustlers trying to find the end zone for the first time this afternoon. Buxa looking fade again. Deese going up top. Deese coming down with it. Touchdown, Rustlers. So for Johnny Buxa, touchdown pass number 4 on the season. Deese with his 7th touchdown grab on the year. And the Rustlers, PAT away from cracking double digits here against the #1 team in the nation. Off the foot of Manny Cuevas and on to McFadden. It's good.
Get up to 10 points. 41-10.
See, that's what happened here, guys. Sometimes you go down to that side and field goals and or extra points, they end up getting on McFadden. And sometimes it could be quite the spectacle.
Al Gasparian down there, braving the streets. It's like we used to do when we was kids playing.
Who's got it, right? Your turn. Go get it. Throw it back over.
Yeah, but you'd get stuck climbing the fence. Come on now.
No, I flipped through and I'm good. Besides, I would have picked up the ball and taken McFadden home. My street.
I was going to say, you looked at it and said, "Is this yours?" Okay, thank you. Look what I got for Christmas.
I'm taking your ball and going home.
That's it.
Okay, so Fullerton College has them stacked. You know they're going to kick to Fleming. I'm thinking if you really want Manyweather to get the ball,
flip it to him.
Stack him.
Yeah, that's they're going to kick away anyway. Little pooch shot. Fleming's going to take it at the 20. Sidestep, stays on his feet. We got a flag on the near side of the field. Fleming goes down just short of the 40.
Fleming with the return.
Be coming back, Cole McCarty, the guilty party. You can expect more of that next week at Whittier, home of the Poets.
I was just going to ask you if you're starting to warm up already.
Just
here.
I got to get ready.
On SportsNetUSA.net, it's a sure bet the Corey. Old pot rhyme.
Got to warm up the limerick abilities. The limerickable.
The kids call those bars.
I haven't heard bars in 15 years, Rahshuan. I'm sorry.
He hasn't heard barbs, and he's been lucky if he can see his own shoes. Leave him alone.
That was a dynamic backhand at the entire rap game as we know it today.
First down and 10 on the 25. Let the old guy step out of the way here. 18 seconds to go into the third quarter. We got one more coming after this. Skelton goes back, throws it to Simpson. Simpson on the little drag across the middle of the field, refuses to go down and gets 10 yards. 1 yard on the catch, 9 yards on the run after.
And you know what's funny? If it wasn't for Justin Manningweather, it would be Dari Simpson doing those plays. We saw him last year, and we just thought, man.
Clock is running. That should take us before the snap, and it does. It takes us to the end of the third quarter. As we come to the end of the third quarter, it's the Hornets 41, the Rustlers 10. You're watching Golden West College football on Sportsnet USA.net.
So let's talk, guys. I don't think I ever shared this story with you, right?
Okay.
So back before my wife was my wife, she was out in Mississippi working, and I went out there to visit her. She said, when you come out here, you got to see this chicken corner, right? Now, it was a major intersection, and there's a fried chicken place on every corner of the intersection. One of those places was Raising Cane's. That's the only place she took me to. And what do they say? You want to get to a man, you go straight to his stomach, right? She fed me Cane's. I was in love with Cane's and in love with her. Raising Cane's. They do it right. Fresh, never, ever frozen chicken fingers. Right along with the grade A extra long crinkle cut fries, that thick Texas toast that is oh so good. Don't forget the cane sauce and the fresh made lemonade. Raising Cane's, 3150 South Harbor, just south of Gisler and Costa Mesa. Raising Cane's, where game day never tasted so good.
You know what just happened? Ed Ford and I are never going to eat chicken again. Ed Ford and I are going to be afraid to go to a chicken place if you get a wedding ring when you walk in there.
You realize where we're going to eat after this.
Yeah, Raising Cane's. Second down and 10. Skelton back in the game.
I mean, it's only right.
Fleming out here in the slot on the left-hand side. There is Skelton, pulls it down, takes off around the corner. Eckford looking at him, can't quite throw a block, gain of 9.
So Rustlers went down to Grossmont last week. They took an L. I was unable to make the trip. Nathan Percy pinch hit for me. I get a text from Nathan later that night. Guess where I stopped on the post-game meal? Coming up that 5, you're going to pass 2 Raising Cane's. Take your pick. He picked one of them, and he was thankful for it.
He knows what to do. That's why Nathan is a success. He makes the wise calls all the time. Third down and 2. Right at the 45. The Hornets 41, the Rustlers 10. Ladarius Skelton says, I'll keep it. Cuts the outside. He's at the 40. Looks for a block. He splits the block, and the defender gets down to the 20-yard line. Tell you what, it is a gliding speed. He has a quarterback. Corey, he's still faster than I think, Rahshuan.
That was a heck of a fake, because for 5 seconds there, I thought Eckford had the ball. So a nice job of him to carry out his fake, but then that speed, though, there by the QB court. 2
straight quarterbacks Fullerton's had in 2 straight years, Ladarius Skelton and Jordan Hoy last year. You just don't realize how fast they are until they get to that secondary and pull away from DBs. I mean, Ladarius is fast because he glides. He's got that long stride. Jordan just looked like he was quick, and his acceleration was off the charts.
Yeah, because Corey said to me last year with Jordan Hoy, he'd get out in front. Nobody would catch Jordan Hoy from behind.
No.
That's the thing that made it deceptive. You thought, all right, he's out in front. Watch somebody catch him. They never did. Ladarius Skelton. Guys, I'm going to go back to both of it, though. Rahshuan said he would, Corey, and I'm going to ask you to get into this, that he would redshirt if he got Ladarius Skelton to teach him how to be a passer. I've had people on the Fullerton staff say, you probably would leave him alone and just utilize with what he's got. You go along with Rahshuan, redshirted for a year, and then try and teach him and see if you can make him a passer?
I think he can learn through the season.
Okay.
I think, well, you'd hope he'd learn through the season, but being that dynamic using the legs, I don't see how you can get him and keep him off the field because he's itching to get to that next level.
First down and 10 at the 20. Eckford, the lone setback. Ladarius Skelton walks up under center. Golden West College says, if you want to be there, here we come. They back off, and we get motion on the line of scrimmage. So the Hornets get a little moving going on here with 13:38 to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was Eric Pulliam, the guilty culprit there. Going back to the previous play, Silas Collins, he was the injured Rustler down, but able to walk off under his own strength.
Doodle Hawk out wide to the left. Richardson out wide to the right. They hand a ball on the ground.
Looks like the Rustlers have it. A late flag comes in.
Now I'm going to say that's a scrum down on the ground. If the people are fighting for the football, I'm going to go with Rahshuan Haylock here. That's a flag you pick up unless somebody's kicking somebody. You know, guys, Rahshuan, you know how the pile is down there when you're fighting for a fumble.
Siliuta comes out of the scrum with the fumble, but I'm with you. If there's a scrum, guys are fighting for the ball. Unreal. They get Rudy San Jose for a dead ball personal foul. Now, that penalty was thrown as the scrum was still happening.
Yeah, and I mean, unless somebody's yanking the back of somebody's head or they're, doing something really outrageous, And again, when we're up here in the booth and we're watching the officials that throw the flag, sometimes, Rahshuan, it's even like when you and I thought there was a fumble in the field, the officials haven't been in the right position sometimes to call the appropriate flag.
Tell you what, the Rustlers haven't done the officials haven't done the Rustlers any favors here today with the flags thrown. Roper is in there at a tailback, and he's right to the left of Johnny Buxer. Another low snap. They set up the screen too tall for the diminutive Roper. We talked about J5 Les St. Anthony's to their first CIF title since 1948, just a season ago. Earlier this week, he announced that next week he'll be visiting NCAA Division II Adams State out in Colorado. They're part of the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference with his intentions on signing with them there on his visit. So Buxer going to be a one-and-done guy here for the Rustlers. Ratzliff off of his hands. And fortunately for the Rustlers, that one fell incomplete. Brown was there on the coverage. 13-16 left in this fourth quarter. And left in the season for the Rustlers. Of course, a lot more to play for Fullerton going forward. There's one at large. That's going to be a huge discussion over the next, probably less than 24 hours now. But we'd like to get your thoughts.
Well, we'll throw in ours and Ed Ford's because we've been discussing this online for weeks. Ed Ford, Corey Neyland, and myself. Ball comes out.
Buxer drops the snap.
Corey Rose might have been the one to jump on it, or Cameron Proctor. It's Cameron Proctor for Fullerton who recovered it.
And I just mentioned it at low snap. There have been low snaps all game, and that time Buxer tried to get in his back pedal a little bit too quick. Ball was right there near the turf, and he's just unable to corral it.
Yeah, we'll see if the Hornets can get another one of these beautiful things I have on my right finger that rings the thing. Of course, last year, Emmett Benjamin Pavlovich, who was born last year, predicted a national championship. See if we can get back-to-back. Emmett wants one of these things. Fonte Eckford in the backfield. Ladarius Skelton says, Mr. Eckford, you take it. Go to the outside. Gets a block on the corner. Abdul Haq trying to throw one to seal the corner. Can't quite do it for the Hornets.
So we're talking about the playoffs. Fullerton, Riverside, Ventura. They've got their conferences. If Mount Sac beats Riverside, you know Mount Sac is going to get in.
If they lose.
If Riverside loses, however, Mount Sac is getting in and Riverside is going to get in as well. So, I mean, when Mount Sac wins, they're in. Riverside loses, that means Mount Sac wins, they're in. And Riverside is in no matter what. You got.
And that means Saddleback's standing there wondering what happened.
Saddleback, Bakersfield, and College of the Canyons. If Riverside wins, you know, I'd like to see College of the Canyons because they've had a resurgence. If they win tonight, I'd like to see them in. But again, you know Saddleback's getting in if Mount Sac loses.
And Saddleback would be the 4, meaning the Hornets would play Saddleback.
Conference opponent.
Come over the middle. Now, I know they used to in the old days, Rahshuan, they didn't like that. They didn't want conference opponents playing each other in the first round of the playoffs because that allowed a conference to get to the finals. But that has changed over the years.
Yeah, there are a couple Fullerton rules in effect this year as you gotta win your conference to actually get into the playoffs, to be the number 1 seed.
Be the number 1 seed, yeah. Fullerton a couple years back was the number 1. They didn't win their conference. A lot of politicking going on.
In college football?
No. Ladarius Skelton says, well, speaking of politicking, I'm going to turn the corner, but there's a flag, and it's going to be against the Hornets. And I'm thinking it's against Eckford.
Yeah, it's going to be Eckford with a crackback. And so they're going to bring that one back. But you're looking at Fullerton is looking real good. And Ventura, you saw Vic Viramontes, or you heard about Vic Viramontes. You said he's a real deal.
Yeah, I was speaking with an assistant coach from Long Beach just last night.
It's against Golden West.
Touchdown stands. So the touchdown stands.
Okay, so you saw Vic Viramontes.
Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah, please.
I saw Vic Viramontes during his time at Norco High School, and he was the real deal back then. I figured he'd probably struggle because the throwing wasn't quite there. So of course he bounces back from Cal, and
kick is up, kick's good.
I talked to an assistant from Long Beach City last night, and he told me, I mean, he's the real deal. Like, no one could stop him. They got another Division I bounce back on that team too, Travis Johnson, who used to go by the name of Travis Waller when he was at Servite. He bounced back from Oregon, and he barely is getting any time because Vic has been playing so well. And Tom Kraft, I mean, he's Mr. Air it out, Mr. Spread them out. We're going to throw the ball all over the field. He's kind of reinvented himself this season. This is a team that's averaging over 300 yards a game on the ground. Not a Riverside team that we've seen before, or Coach Tom Kraft type of team that we've seen before, in the sense that the running game is featured, and that's because of Vic Viramontes, because he'll run through you or he'll run past you. He's a linebacker essentially playing quarterback.
Yeah, he's averaging over 150 a game on the ground, over 150 game passing. So they've got a team that you think that was what was missing the last few years for them. They were dynamic through the air, but they didn't have that. Well, they were tough, but it was what'd you say, misguided toughness, and they didn't get down and gritty. But this year,
that fake toughness.
Yeah, that fake toughness where they got 20 penalties each game. In the biggest games, they got 30. So it's like Fullerton used to be back in the day.
11:35 to go in the fourth quarter. It's the Hornets 48, the Rustlers 10.
Pooch kick, and fair catch going to be called for by the Rustlers. And that was Justin Ford making a fair catch.
You know what we didn't do? We didn't get our all-conference teams like we normally do. I forgot about that.
No, we didn't. Well, you got Montre Bonner as Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, because I've seen so many double teams and disruptions from Montre that, yeah, he's a Defensive Player of the Year. If he wasn't, you'd probably look at Saddleback, Jake Hudson, and the other one. I forgot the other one.
And you got Ladarius Wilson.
Vegas?
Yeah, Vegas. Yeah,
you got Ladarius Wilson as the Offensive Player of the Year.
Yes, I do. Or Kane Skelton, either one.
Yeah, either one.
Hudson gets my vote. Defensive Player of the Year. Tavai getting the carry on first down, and bounces off of a couple, up to the 23-yard line. Hudson is just, he's a tremendous story for one, but I mean, you throw that aside and just look at him as a defensive end. He just strikes terror, strikes fear in the opposition, and he's not really big, but he's lightning fast, and he just lives in the opponent's backfield. He did a number on this Golden West team when I saw him earlier this season.
Yeah, he leads the conference in sacks.
That went in and out of the hands of Xavier Smith, out of bounds. And are they going to call that a backwards pass?
It was.
So backwards pass. That was actually a fumble. Smith didn't even chase it. Went out of bounds, and so it'd be out of bounds. Or it'd be spotted where the ball went out of bounds at the 18-yard line. So a loss of 5 there. Brings up a 3rd down and 12 for Golden West. 10:45 left.
And if you want my old guy get off my lawn picks, it would be the Fullerton College offensive line as the offensive players of the year.
Almost, as it's just thrown up for grabs at Corey. You had Kenneth Griffith going back there saying, I got it. Oh, wait a minute, it's thrown too deep for me to get it.
And Rahshuan, when you look at the linebackers in secondary, who stood out this year that you've seen?
To me, I got to start with J.T. Thomas for Golden West. And I know the Rustlers didn't have a good game last week overall as a secondary, but I've seen him put a number on some of the top wide receivers in this conference. So I'll start there just in terms of at the cornerback position.
And just to be different, you two, I'm still going to give love to the Palomar quarterback.
Right.
You know, his numbers are good. He's got nothing to play with. See, and I'm getting no love up here in the booth right now. You think the officials give no love to Golden West College? I'm getting less love from Rahshuan, Haylock, and Corey Neyland up here than the officials.
I like Matt Romero. But
his numbers are good, and he's got nobody on his team.
But his completion percentage, though,
yeah.
Mark,
he's got nobody.
Yeah, he's got nobody, but he has to throw all the time. That doesn't mean
that
you're the best quarterback.
Is one of the top receivers in the conference.
Yeah,
Nate so Johnson, I wouldn't say nobody.
Okay, he's got one.
That's all you need.
Oh man,
Orange Coast has got one. That's all you need. But no, I like Matt Romero, but no, he's not the top 3 quarterbacks in the conference.
It's tough being old. Justin Manyweather says, I want one. It's coming up. Justin looks. Corey, he's going to backpedal. He's looking for a wall. There's 1 block. There's 2 blocks. He steps to the outside. Needs one more. He steps to the outside. Corey, when that wall set up, I thought he was called. Flag comes out late down there. Oh, I thought Corey Neyland was writing history in the book.
I was going to put him right next to Tim Imperioli, who did it in 1988. For punt returns in a season, and Charles Holloway in 1950 with 2 in a season.
The best thing about that is you can tell not only he wanted it, but all of his teammates wanted it for him. And that's pretty neat to see.
But he does have the single season punt return yards for Fullerton with over 400 now, and the career as well.
And you look at quarterbacks in this conference. I mean, I start right here with these two. Wilson and Skelton, they get my vote, and I put Joe Pyle just because of his resurgence over the last couple of weeks. I mean, he's really turned this into a formidable offense by turning himself around. The numbers he's put up over the course of the last 3 to 4 games have been just tremendous.
A season for other players.
Yeah.
Richardson goes out wide to left. Xavier Green in the slot on the left-hand side. Fleming out wide to the right. They're going to hand it to Avante Eckford. He spins at the line of scrimmage, goes straight up the middle, gets across the 5, down to the 3. Corey, that offensive line, you haven't really named anybody off that's been doing it, but they just have not gotten enough love for a team that produces.
No, Harris plays the whole game, the center. Rashad Harris also in there now, Vincent Narvaez. And also Erlington Jones, on the left side. On the far side, on the right side is Jankovic and Samuel Davis.
Photo's going to take it himself. Gets hit again. Johnny Photo said, I ducked once, ducked twice, short of the line of scrimmage.
You'd like to see the big package in here for Fullerton right
wouldn't
now.
Wouldn't you?
You want to see 10 offensive linemen and a running back. That formation is something that's brutal.
You asked me about linebacker earlier. They're probably leaning towards Broomball from Saddleback, a former Corona Centennial player. He had a great game when we saw them earlier this season.
Now here's where you put your Palomar player. Walcott's the middle linebacker.
Yeah, I was going to say Fox or Walcott's. No,
Yeah.
those two guys, they were pretty impressive. Probably Walcott's more than Fox.
Eckford gets it, turns the corner, needs a block. Ball comes out when he hits the pylon. They're going to call touchdown for the Hornets.
And Font Eckford doing it on the outside. And really, this has been the second and third guys, the running backs, has been doing the games. We haven't seen Isaiah Webb play. And he's, if you want to put a second string label on somebody, he was the guy the last 4 weeks, but he had some fumbling problems against OCC.
So Eckford gets in with his second rushing touchdown of the year, just then averaging 8.5 yards a carry coming into this game with 8:47 to go. Well, the magical numbers of 60s just keep running. We're close. It's the Hornets right now before this extra point, 54. The Rustlers 10. You're watching Rustler Football on SportsNetUSA.net. Ball is up. Kick is good. Number 55 goes on the board with 8:47 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's the Hornets 55, the Rustlers 10. You're watching Golden West College football on SportsNetUSA.net. Love and Raisin Cane Chicken, thank you for making all the games possible for Golden West College football. For us, well, Zombie Donuts and, of course, Miller Toyota of Anaheim for making everything possible here on SportsNetUSA.net. Thank you again for a wonderful season of community college football here on SportsNetUSA.net.
We need a running clock.
You know, I thought the back judge at one time, because I saw when somebody ran out of bounds, he turned around and looked at the clock and started waving his arm, and I thought, high school football, love it. We've been doing high school football. Rahshuan, you want to see poor officiating. Woo!
Yeah, let's go back to the conference before we get on that other one.
Seventh time in 10 games that these Hornets have gotten over 50 points, 50 or more points this season.
Averaging 57 a game. That's pretty impressive. You know, national championship team last year, but this team is pretty much breaking all of those records.
James Baldwin going to take it a yard deep in his own end zone. Baldwin the third around the corner outside the numbers at the 20. Keeps his feet moving at the 25-yard line, and they mark him down there. You're talking about continuing the all-conference teams. What about receivers?
Well, I got to go to the Hornet team. You talking receivers?
Well, I don't know if you picked just one Hornet receiver out here. I think as a group, yes. But you look at Rutledge from OCC.
I love him.
And Johnson, from Palomar. Those are good guys. But Clinton Allen, the Saddleback, he's pretty phenomenal. I mean, that's
but Rutledge was a stud against the Hornets. I mean, Rahshuan, everything thrown at him, he caught when he played against the Hornets.
He didn't catch anything here. Neither did Johnson. Neither did Allen. I mean, that's just how good J.T. Thomas in the secondary has been against the pass this year. Here comes Buxa, going to keep it himself. Buxa around the corner. Johnny Buxa out of bounds near midfield. 25 yards on the pickup. 8:22 left in this fourth quarter. Actually, they mark him out at the 45-yard line. But these guys, impressive numbers coming into the game. Then you look up at the end of the night and frustrated. Rutledge was here, frustrated.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
This was the week after he broke Junior Tagaloa's single-game receiving record. He came into here, and J.T. Thomas and company shut him down. 1st and 10 from the Rustler 45-yard line. J5 over the middle. Ratzliff caught and down at the 45. Make it a 44 of Fullerton. First down.
Now, if you talk about if I got to get a first down and I got to throw it to one person, Marcus Grossman is my guy. I mean, we've seen him do some dynamic things And the hands he has, I think he has the best hands in the conference myself. And yeah, I'm being a little bit biased. And Robert Johnson might be the most dynamic.
1st and 10. They hand it off, and a big run over the middle, bouncing off of defenders is Kahuna Nui. We were told he'd probably get some carries today. And that's the first time we've seen him carry the football. First official carry of the season as he gets it all the way down to the 22-yard line. Pickup of 22.
That's why it confused me.
Kahuna Nui?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a twin named Trevin who was here also.
And he plays defense.
They both did, actually,
Yeah.
when they got here. Melvin actually started the season on the defensive side of the ball, but they moved him to an H-back position throughout the course of the season. And he actually did not play last year. Melvin didn't.
Yeah, but the conference, has it been a little down this year to you guys?
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so too.
Books are looking for Deese. Deese with the catch. End zone. Touchdown, Rustlers.
Hey, where's the flag?
You know you're never going to get that call. Ever, ever, ever. You're never going to get that call.
Oh,
I'll tell you,
man.
that was blatant, right in front of the official.
I mean, and
I've
that's
seen worse things get, or less things get called.
See, but you
Than
know what I
that.
like about that official? Hey, it's time to go.
yeah.
Okay.
But that's where fans get frustrated. They see that and they think, well, you were calling flags on my team.
But look at the score.
Yeah, but that's still where people get frustrated.
But look at the score. If it was 33-32 right now and that put Golden West in the lead, then yeah, everybody knows it was blatant. Everybody knows it was a push-off. Deal with it.
So Deese now with 8 touchdown receptions on the season, and he now has the lead for the Rustlers on the year in touchdown grabs, does Derek Deese.
And you know, Brian,
55-17 our score.
sorry, Rahshuan, but you know Brian Crooks is not happy.
Brian Crick said push off or not, I don't care. They shouldn't score.
Yeah, and he, you know, we'll talk to him about playing his 3s and his 4s, Rahshuan. He says, they give up points, I yank them. I just don't want them out there.
Jeremiah Johnson in the ball game, 5'8", 245.
And Damani Reed is now back deep with Fleming for the Hornets. So Damani Reed now in there with 6:16 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's the Hornets 55, the Rustlers 17. Fleming is going to settle underneath it right at the 20. Tries to turn a corner. Flag comes out. He dips inside. There's a grab, a hug, and an invitation to a party. Another flag goes on the ground.
There's 2 over there, so yeah, same thing. We didn't get running backs. I like Gerald Hewlett, but he would never get the
No,
recognition.
he won't get it. No.
DeMercado over at Saddleback. He's one of those guys that, yeah, he'll be all conference. We just haven't seen anyone as dynamic
I was just
on the
going to
field
ask you
this season.
guys.
There has not been a dynamic tailback in this conference this year. I'm with you. I mean, the
Personal foul, marked below the waist. Receiving team number 43. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
this goes against Fullerton. They call that one on Smith, Sarah Smith, with the block below the waist. I'm with you. DeMercado, I mean, he looked okay. Hewlett's the best I've seen.
Yeah, I mean he is, but he
I
won't.
mean,
But he won't get that recognition because he doesn't get enough touches. But he's the best running back in the conference.
I mean, eye test alone. I mean, sometimes numbers could get skewed. That's kind of what we were talking about earlier, right, Mark? Just how throughout the years these Fullerton tailbacks just may not have had the numbers, but I mean, you give them the ball, look out.
Yeah, they can go. David Hendrick now in the game. So David Hendrick, who could play, Corey Neyland has said this about all 4 quarterbacks that the Hornets have. They could start any plays. And this is once again says a lot about this team where it's that deep. Johnny Carmack is out as a wide receiver. David Hendrick takes it, dips inside, goes back outside, gets thrown down after he gets across the 10.
John Ajizu throwing Hendrick down to the turf there as we're under 6 to play here in this fourth quarter.
So Malik Abdul Haq out wide to the left. Johnny Carmack in the slot on the left-hand side. Richardson out wide to the right. Hendrick, the running back. Hendrick, the quarterback. Looks over the sideline. Justin Franks in at running back. Steps up, gets even with the quarterback. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Shot clock. See, that was a basketball too much last night. Should be a shot clock with this score, 55-17. Hey, you know what, guys? You were talking about relatives. Of course, Delton Crandall, who plays for the Hornets, we always support women's sports. Do you know his sister is a national champion hockey player?
Did not know that.
Yeah, national champion, collegiate national champion hockey player. 4:53 to go.
It's pretty legit.
Hendrick picks up, looking to throws it over. Abdul Malik Haq pulls it down across the 35 out to the 37.
Good time given by that offensive line. Torrance Evans, Erlington Jones, Christian Llanos, Matthew Martinez, and Vincent Narvez.
That's Malik Abdul Haq. I sort of mixed his name up. I'm sorry. Malik Abdul Haq. So I apologize to his dad, who I know watches all our games here on SportsNetUSA.net. Hendrick tries to get him to jump, and wait a minute. Two of them jumped on the far side of the field.
And Rahshuan, you talked about Jeffrey Norwood a few years back. We had this thing about the best Fullerton College teams since 1984, and he was on one of those teams. What was that 2000? I want to say 2011.
See, I like the 2009-2010 team. I thought he was on the 2010 team.
He was on one of those teams that had so much talent that underachieved so bad.
Hendrick takes it. Ball comes out.
Ball's out. And it's recovered by the Rustlers.
Is that Don Anderson again?
Flag comes out. What's unusual?
Rustlers, there is a flag on the field.
When I look at the Rustlers play, I just think sometimes that we want them to have a full season. We've seen what Nick Mitchell and his coaching staffs do with a full, complete, healthy season. And this just wasn't that year, but they never quit.
Nah, they So offsetting penalties on the personal fouls, and you're absolutely right, Corey. This team never quit. They kept playing despite the adversity, despite the injuries, despite losing 2 quarterbacks in the game opener. They kind of rallied around Joe Pyle after that. And you saw this offense get better throughout the course of the season. It seemed like they were really starting to hit their stride. I think that Grossmont loss last week was kind of just a punch to the gut, though. I mean, it changed so many things for this team, changed so many things about this game here today. And what this game could have meant and the implications.
You're talking about a possible bowl game. Even if you lose the game at 5-5, you can get a bowl game. And now at 4-6,
that's not happening. Yeah, absolutely not. And while we have a second, I want to say hello to Mrs. Mitch. I was talking to Coach yesterday, and I was upset at myself. I thought I missed you at the Bell game, but he told me you weren't here. It was somebody I thought was you from a distance, but it wasn't you. I want to say hello to you, and thanks so much for all of your support of us and the broadcast throughout the years, and hope you're doing well.
And, of course, you said that, Corey, before this game gets over, I need to say something. Corey and I lost a really good friend, Corey, Ed, and I, here at SportsNetUSA.net. Tom Duff, which I know you know too, Rahshuan, would always sit in a booth with us. He loved it when us three got together at the Hornet home games. He'd sit behind us three, listen and laugh all night. Great friend to the group of football players to the program, but a greater friend to us here at sportsnetUSA.net. And you know what? It's going to be a sad playoff, him not being there behind Corey Neyland and I, giving us a hard time talking about great teams.
Jones bobbled that one, able to hold on to it, and he takes a big hit on the play. Smith came up and just leveled him.
You know, I think I'm going to go down to the field, take all the flags, and just hold them up here for the final 3:04. Holding.
So once again, for all of you, Tom Duff passed away after a great run as an instructor, educator, friend at Fullerton College. Tom, I wish you could hear me because we loved you, we liked you, and thank you for everything you've done for us here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Under 3 to play here. This fourth quarter. Books on 3rd and 15. Incomplete.
Yeah, Smith wasn't stuck in cement. Oh, we know why he was stuck in cement, because he couldn't move. He comes up gippy and grabs his hamstring. It was thrown right to him, but he just couldn't move.
And if you come up grabbing your hamstring, then you need to get off the field.
And it was Xavier Smith, the intended receiver there for the Rustlers. 2:40 left in the Rustler season. A season of what-ifs. Somewhat disappointing. I know there were high hopes for these players as well as this coaching staff on what this season could have been and what they thought it would be entering the year. Didn't quite pan out that way.
Put the ball away. Takes a bounce at the 14. Spins down. They're going to let it just trickle down to the 2 with 2:40 to go here in the fourth quarter. I love how the clock is running.
They never ran on the punt. They're trying to make up time.
Corey Neyland he's going to run out there and push the button and say, just keep running it. And the official finally looks up and says, okay, 2:25 is good enough. It's the Hornets 55, the Rustlers 17. You've been watching Golden West College football and Fullerton College football on SportsNetUSA.net.
So what's it going to take for this team to extend its season?
Get by Riverside. I think that's the biggest stumbling block. And be able to play a game in adversity. They haven't played a game in adversity. Hendrick throws it just short of the end. And really, Rahshuan, that's going to be the big question.
I think they have played a game of adversity. That first half, they were down at the half to Saddleback, 21-14. They were.
Yeah, but then they ran away.
Yeah, they ran away, but it showed you something that Saddleback Fullerton games, 3 points or less, come down to the last play. Phantom penalty or catch is going to make decided at the end.
Hendrick goes out, throws it quickly at the flat, turn the corner is Webb.
And their execution, play calling, and they're just focused on the offensive side of the ball and defense overcame that, and they ran away with them. I'm not sure if it's adversity. I think if they can keep playing at the level they play on offense, and I just think the cornerbacks need to step up and really defend if they're going to get another championship.
Well, and I'm going to go back to what Rahshuan said, because Rashawn's telling me besides our two-headed monster, the best quarterback in around is at Riverside. Franks takes it, dips at the right, comes the outside, gets knocked down, 1:47 to go. And I don't think they've played against a great quarterback with excellent receivers. And if Rahshuan is right, it's going to be the defense who really hasn't been challenged by a great offense.
It's going to be that second row. After the linebacker, after the defensive line, it's going to be those 3 linebackers and those corners.
They're going to have to locate, because, I mean, Viramontes, he's a guy that's going to hurt you with his legs.
And that could be the thing, Rahshuan. I mean, that's the way I look at it right now.
Because if you do get to a Riverside,
Hendricks gets taken down the backfield. He's going to be sacked for a loss with 1:08 to go.
And
a flag comes out for a little face wash.
Now that was obvious. Okay, that should have been a call, and he's not going to get kicked out, but that's probably you're done for the last 1 minute. But
that's Tyler Vaimaona there, and you get the sense that it's probably setting in here for some of these sophomores, by Maona being one of them. Realizing their season, their careers here with the Rustlers coming to an end. But as you mentioned that, I mean, what Chick Hearn used to say, you can call it a brill.
And I'm going to go out this far too, Rahshuan. I mean, I look at the Dodgers season. There's a lot of people that thought it was a lost season because they didn't win it all. I think it will be a disappointing season if the Hornets don't get to the championship game. I think people will feel like it's a very disappointing 10-0 season if they don't get there. Corey Neyland always looks at the glass half full, so I know he doesn't feel that way.
Hornets in the victory formation.
10-0. 36 seconds to go. They're going to go through conference undefeated here on SportsNetUSA.net. And the only thing left for them, well, it's the playoffs around the corner starting next week. Rahshuan, it's been a sad season for Golden West College, to say the least, and a fun season on the flip side for Fullerton College.
Yeah, obviously Fullerton still has a lot more to play for. You take a look at some of these players that have played so hard for Nick Mitchell over the course of the last couple of years. A couple guys stand out, come to mind: Sheldon White, Tyler Vaimaona, some sophomores that have really put it on the line. Damon Roberts showed tremendous growth as a person, maturation during his time here. So we salute those fine sophomores who have just played their final game here as a Rustler. For Nick Mitchell, back to the drawing board, got to make some decisions, reevaluate some things offensively as well as defensively. Does he want to continue to wear two hats, be the defensive coordinator and the head coach, or does he want to bring someone else in? Those are things that will be decided in the offseason. And then, of course, got to hit the recruiting trail hard. You know, one thing that we have not mentioned about Fullerton, yeah, they have all this talent, they score all these points, they do all these things, but where does that start? It starts in the recruiting, right? You got to get the players, you know what I mean? You got to have the players. So this, I think sometimes you got to take a step back before you can take a step forward, and I'm thinking this was that season for the Rustlers. They had probably, you know, as much talent maybe as they've had. From a number standpoint, they had more players than they've ever had in Mitchell's tenure, and things just didn't work out for one way or another. But maybe this is, they can keep up that momentum from a recruiting standpoint, bring in and just as a talented group, or if not more talented, and then maybe see the wins. Maybe those, you know, less 15-yard penalties, maybe some of the things that happened this year will kind of go the opposite way that they went. Things that went against them will go the opposite going into the 2018 season.
And for Corey Neyland, you get to be a poet next week, so it'll be rhyme time here on SportsNetUSA.net. Well, the fun is not done if you're a Hornet fan. Next week, Whittier College, the playoffs begin, and when you hit the playoffs, it's one and done, and boy, how disappointing that might be. So stick around with us here on SportsNetUSA.net, because next week it'll be Fullerton College. Rahshuan, it's been fun being in your house here at Golden West College. Once again, thank you to Ed Ford, yourself, and Andrew King back at home, and all the veterans that made this possible.
Always a pleasure seeing you guys. Thanks so much. Battle of the Booths, always a pleasure. Special thanks to Albert Gasparian, the AD. Tim Bremen, always helping us out all season long, getting us interviews and things here at the half. Joe Pyle, our halftime guest. My partner, Andrew King, get well soon, my friend. Nick Mitchell, special thanks to him as well for all the help he's done and had for us throughout all these years, and especially this season, which I know has been a difficult season for him. Van Vu providing all the visuals. Ed Ford is our operations manager, managing the controls. We salute our veterans here today on this Veterans Day. And a very salute to all you Rustler fans out there for sticking with us throughout this entire 2017 season. 2018 season in the books. The Rustlers with the loss fall to 4-6, 2-3 in Southern Conference play. Fullerton 10-0 and 5-0, the Southern Conference champs. For all of us here at SportsNetUSA.net, I'm Rahshuan Haylock saying thanks so much for watching, as you've been watching Golden West Rustler football for the final time here in 2017. Enjoy the offseason, folks. Happy holidays. We'll see you soon.